Hey, you guys, what's going on? We are here live from the 215, okay? Reporting all the way from Philadelphia. How you guys doing tonight? Give me your heart and a thumbs up when you get here. You know, sharing is caring, right? So I feel like, y'all know how I feel about my lights, okay? I feel like I gotta have all the lights. I need to really stop playing to get it together. Hi, how you guys doing? Say hi to me when you get in here. First of all, let me make sure y'all can. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Y'all know I like to. We doing this commercial. All right, there we go. Woo! How you guys doing out there? Oh hey, Andre. Why, Andre? You ain't been first in a long time. How you doing? What's going on with you guys today? I appreciate you guys being here with me today. It's Wednesday. I'm just trying to get everything together. This I like looking at this way. Look, it is what it is. Okay. So it's Wednesday. We made it through the week. Okay. We're halfway there, you guys. Hold on. And let me tell you, it was truly a struggle, a battle. You have to definitely fight for your joy. I'm definitely in a different space now. I've had some great conversations to help me get back into my zen. Okay. To get back into my zen. I'm listening for something. Hold on. You're good. That is amazing. I'm so glad that you are doing good. Hey YouTube, I see YouTube in the building. Say what's going on. Say hi to me. We're gonna get to some pictures and stuff like that. But before we do all of that, I like to know what's going on with you guys, what y'all been doing, what's working for you, what's not working. And can you guys hear me out there okay? I'm gonna test my sound. And thank you guys. You know what? Thank you guys for being such a great sport with this new time change, okay? I truly appreciate it. Let me see. Because y'all know I go in here and I get the looking, and then I'll start changing stuff as I'm looking at it. Hold on. Uh-oh. Love. All right. It is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. Oh, hey. Hi, YouTube. What it do, baby? Hey, CJ. Shout out to you over there watching us from YouTube University. We're just going to get into a few things today, y'all. I was so tired, but I'm here. I made it. We got the curls. The curls is curling. Okay. And I just want to say, you guys, I'm extremely in a better space. I'm going to share with you guys eventually things because listen, when you got to fight, you be hitting a fight for your life over here. I feel like we don't always discuss the warfare and the battles and the strength and everything that it takes to just make sure that you are good, to stay grounded, to stay motivated, um, and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Especially if you don't have like the right people around you or anything, because ultimately we should be able to pour into our own cups. But sometimes you need somebody to help you refill, or just remember. So I've been dealing with that, and I am excited that I'm in such a better space with life events. Okay. Andre said exactly. So yes, you gotta work it till you can. Um, and it's funny because I was just having that conversation with some young people not too long ago. I'm like, listen, they're like, oh, I'm just every day is a bad day. And I'm like, listen, you gotta fight for you. And then sometimes you ever find yourself, Andre, you encouraging somebody else whole time. You need to encourage your damn self, you know? But I can't help it, right? I can't help it. It's like, listen, not today. Because they always say, well, when do like who does the therapist and the doctor and all of them go to, right? It's like, your therapist has a therapist, sometimes with your life coach or whatever, but we don't know. They about to get rid of all the life coaches, girl. Chuck messing with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. But outside of that, it is like, no, you do have to do it. I always say nobody checks on the checkers. So you definitely have to do it yourself. Hey, Sanera, girl, thank you for joining me tonight, girl. Don't be tardy to the party. CJ beat you today, girl. I don't know. He beat you today, but guess what? Andre, he ain't playing. He beat all y'all, okay? But so yeah, it was just that, just different things and just really getting grounded. And I've learned, right, over I don't know how long it's been, but if when you go through stuff, it feel like it's forever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning that being obedient, being obedient is an uphill battle, but it's another story for another day. Being obedient is just so much that comes with it. We talk about it, we hear people talk about it, but people don't really get into the mud with it. Like, it is really difficult being obedient and really doing stuff that you don't want to do. And you're like, God, why do you want me to do this? And he's like, why are you asking me why? Because I told you to. And then you're like, okay, well, yeah, you told me you want me to do this, but I don't really think I want to do this. And it's just like, okay, well, it is what it is. And then it's like you get to a point where you're like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna listen. And this is what it's gonna be. Y'all ever felt like that, but moving on to other things. So I feel like that there's something that we can learn here, right? From this whole Kevin Hart fiasco. Have you guys seen that? Now it seems like it's back surfacing again. I don't even know if it actually ever died, but it's back surfacing again because he went on the Breakfast Club and he spoke out. Okay? So have y'all seen that? She says, Sanera said, it certainly is. It's a struggle to fight the flesh. Yes, it is a struggle to fight the flesh. It is a struggle to fight everything. And I've just been seeing more and more things too, Sanera. So go with your comment that just goes with discipline. Like, if you ever really want to know how much self-control you actually have as the person, oh, baby, do something. Make a goal or something and say, I'm going to do this. Like, test yourself. If you really want to see how disciplined you are, baby, how much discipline, I should say, how much discipline you lack. You know what I mean? How much discipline you lack, okay? Challenge yourself to something. We always see different things, right? Before as we get into everything, because I feel like this all goes with it, right? And share the show, you guys. And thank you. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're giving the video a heart and a thumbs up the video over there. Subscribe to the channel, all of this, right? But we always talk about how people lack discipline and people don't have self-control and all this and temptation and whoopty 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 woo, right? But the truth of the matter is you will see just how much you lack discipline when it comes time for you to do something or not do something or keep your word or do something that you know you're not supposed to do or try to change and all of that. Baby, it's almost like if you challenge yourself, right? I think if we all as people challenge ourselves, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to be kind, whether it's to save, whether it's to not, mess around, whatever it is, that you may struggle with, right? And you take the necessary steps to say, I'm going to not do X, Y, and Z. Or if you just say, I'm gonna drink a gallon of water today, and you say you're gonna drink, hey, Facebook page is moving extra slow, but I'm in here. Yeah, it may be something going on with your connection. But who knows, girl? We here. You know how it is. When the Lord show up, the devil like to act up. But you'll see just how difficult it is to stick to what it is that you said you are going to do. You know what I mean? And I'm all about challenging myself and just being better. And then sometimes life takes its turns, right? And then you're not always able to give yourself 100. You're not able to do that every day, depending upon what life throws your way and things like that. So, but listen, baby, with that being said, because that comment scenario right there, baby, this right here, and I feel like that when we see the word flesh, we're always thinking that it involves you being tempted by another person. I don't, you know what I mean? Like that word seems to be like, oh, well, it's the flesh because you think of somebody else is attractive, you know. And it's like, no, it's just being human, period. Dealing with the things that come with being human, the emotions, your trauma, their trauma, different things like that. And then especially now that we have this whole group think where everybody wants everybody to think alike, eat alike, look alike, dance alike, talk alike. It's like, and they, you know, we live in a world now where society or culture will try to make you feel like it's something wrong with you for being and thinking different and thinking and having your own opinion. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm loving you guys saying hi to each other on the comments. It's so funny. I keep telling y'all, I keep telling everybody, we are like one big happy family over here. Oh, and as we get into this thing, right? Because let me know. Oh, remember we did the polls the last time. I could do the poll. Should I do the poll? Um, I want to learn some things. Somebody tell me what is cooning. Do you guys? Somebody tell me what is cooning and being a sellout? Because y'all know we all got our own definitions, but I want to know. As we lead as this leads us into our discussion, right? Further into our discussion. But outside of that, right? Um, yeah, so Kevin has spoken. Yep, we is cousins. Yes, we is. Okay. If you don't know, you better act like you know. So the thing is, I want to make an announcement really quick because shout outs to CJ, y'all. CJ has freaking popped out. Look, I'm putting you out there today. CJ has surprised me, child. CJ has popped out, y'all, and was on Facebook in the group today. And he posted, and if you aren't in the group, join the group. We're getting it back, okay? And CJ posted this really good, long, thought provoking post, right? You know, I love it. And I was like, oh, here we go. Let's get it in. And I would love for you guys to go and check out the post, leave a comment, and teeter-totter around it a little bit. It was in regards to Erykah Badu's song Next Lifetime and how that song was about, okay, uh, being tempted to cheat, being attracted to somebody else, but she couldn't do it because of the next lifetime, even though it was temptation. I don't know. You know, I made my little comments, but I gotta go back, y'all, and make my comments because I was like, you know what, that's my jam. But now I need to go ahead and watch the video. Okay. I need to go watch the video and because I gotta come back to that post. So I love the fact that, you know, you guys, we are about to kick it back up because I kind of didn't know where everybody was in the group as far as, you know, what type of discussions do we want to have in the group? What do we do? Because I haven't been in it for so long. And I just want to give a shout out to CJ because CJ um, definitely showed, okay, nah, this is what we started with. This is what it was. Let's get back into these conversations, these things that make us think and see things. Because ultimately, right? It's been there in the music. So it's going to be there, right? And I was like, yo, I used to think that I was the only one that thought about that song like that. I was like, it's a damn song about cheating. Just like I said, what was the other song we talked about last week when he was like, bounce that ass like your friend do, throw it. And I'm like, why are you looking at my friend? You know? The weekend with the lady when she be like, as we lay, like just the songs, right? That you know we hear and we listen to. That it's like, yo, when you go, oh, you start to hear it, it's like, and we really be singing them things with our chest out. So never said I was like, ooh, I haven't had a chance to comment. Right, girl. So I gotta go back and actually watch this video. So I know what I'm gonna probably be doing when I'm in the bed tonight, you know, laying and scrolling and we doing all this because I love that. Y'all know those conversations make me love it. But I definitely did it. But I will say Method Man was fine, okay? So I don't know if he'd have saw me next lifetime, this lifetime, tomorrow lifetime. You know, so you know, but that's that struggle with that flash here, okay? But the thing is, you know, because you know, sometimes we'll do some things in the heat of a moment where we're gonna risk it all, okay? So yeah. And she said that song crossed my mind so many times. And then yes, yes, CJ definitely sparked it today. So I love that. We got to get back into giving out the little awards of the conversation sparker. So shout outs to CJ for sparking that conversation of just thinking. And I can't wait to see what else we think about, what else we come up with, and just different things like that, because we just we just have to continue to strive for excellence and be the change that we want to see in the world. You know what I mean? Because it is woohoo out here. So it's like here we are now. We have you missed the questions. Okay, so we're seeing it. So what type of questions, scenario, do you miss? Because I get the feedback from you guys and then we go and apply it. I told you, me and Benita had talked before about bringing guests back on, but I have been talking to like my other friends, and I was like, "Girl, listen." I told y'all this last week. So many people be out here frauding that. You know how they mad. You know what I'm saying, Scenario? Y'all know how they doing, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, because people mad at her because they ain't do their own research. That I research the people that I bring on here. I have to know something about you, so I'm like, yo, I don't even want to bring nobody on here because you got so many people that is, what we say, internet personalities. You know what I mean? You don't know who being who. So yeah, we did. We used to talk about everything. We did. We definitely did. And I got so busy, as far as just it's a lot. It's really a lot running something, no matter what it is. It's a lot when you do it all, right? And so that's why I'm appreciative to Benita, because I told y'all Benita was going on when I didn't even feel like going on. Benita, I would be like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, because Benita would be on it, right? But it's, sometimes when you post things and stuff, you want people to engage, and but everybody's not as bold. But I did see today that like some of the people who usually popped out on that CJ post. So it's good, to see that. It lets me know, like, okay, we still have some there. Like, it's over 2,000 people in there, but that doesn't even matter. But it's like, okay, it's people in here. We are still in here. And I do remember a lot of times people always be like, oh, I see the stuff in your group. I just don't say nothing and all this and that. And then, I started just going on. Like I said, God just started taking me in all these different directions just to do these different things. And now it's almost like we're coming back full circle. Like, okay, let's get back into the conversations. Let's get back into that type of stuff. Let me see. Like, let's get back into the conversations. You know what I mean? Because I be looking around on the internet and I be seeing different people and all this stuff being on people podcasts, and I be like, yo, we used to talk about this stuff. Like, why did I stop talking about this stuff? Okay. Hold on. Here we go. Somebody being disobedient. All right, that was an intermission for y'all to refill y'all cups. And I'm like, yeah. See, we say we can a random question once a week. Um, yeah. And it could be even be every day. You know what I'm saying? Uh all the time, because it was all the time, because you just never know which question somebody's going to get into, but or what they may see or what they may not see. And also, if you guys ever post a question and you want people to engage on the questions, right, you go in the comments or whenever you post a question and you use the @ symbol, because I want y'all to help me. So I'm giving y'all a little gem on what to help me out, right? So it does do it where so it's like, I don't know if it's just for me, but where it gives you a time where it's like, hey, you can only use this word only add people this many times a day or whatever case may be. I don't know. But if when you do it, whenever you post anything or anything and you use the @ symbol and you type in everyone and you select everyone, then everybody in the group will get the notification. So it's like, yeah, we gotta probably flood the lines back with that. So that way people know. So if you post something, even if you just put it in a comment and put at everybody so people can get the notifications and see it. I can't wait. But we definitely can do a random question once a week. Definitely. Y'all know me. Once I get back jamming, y'all know what was coming every day. But sometimes some questions you did have to let simmer for a little bit. But it's like, let's get into it. And you already know if you aren't comfortable posting anything or asking, y'all know, just send it on over and I'll put it up there. But you are definitely right, CJ. Life be life and hold still mad. And I rock consignment before I go outside. So I really enjoyed that. So shout outs to CJ for sparking the spark today. Okay. But yeah, so all right, so Kevin Hart has now spoke, and he actually spoke right when it happened. It just was like a little clip. Oh dang. You know what? I gotta figure out a way to let you guys hear the audio. But then I'm kind of glad that y'all can't really hear the audio because they be trying to strike stuff all the time and copyrights and blah, 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 blah. So he went on the Breakfast Club and he spoke. So did you guys see that or you know anything about that? And I want to know, since we've had some time to digest it, since it's been a few weeks since it's happened, what do we now feel about this roast? Okay. Is it going on too far? Is it lasting? Or is it going on too far? Has it lasted too long? Right? Are we today as black people too sensitive? Are we being too sensitive? Let's really get into the unpacking of it all to see what's the issue, because it seems like with him going on the Breakfast Club, he has made it what it appears to be online worse. So I did see a little bit of his interview. I'm going to go back and watch the whole thing, but just from the clips of what he said, um, just from the clips of what he said, hold on. Draco is trying to break in the studio, and I specifically asked for him to be put away. So if you guys hear that banging, that's him. I should have the other camera facing this way so y'all can see him open the door. I'm so no, you're glad he finally spoke. Okay. So now it just seems like that thing has made things worse. Okay. So now he has spoken and people are upset. But he did say some things that I understood where he was coming from. I seen where people were saying, oh, he seemed like he was defensive and he was upset about it. And I was like, yeah, I can see that. And so that's why I want to go watch it in get the whole context of it. Draco, hey, how you doing? What brings you in here? Hi, nice to see you. Yes, Draco is Erykah, okay? But I don't think Sheryl Underwood is funny. We all hear courtesy representation of ourselves. You let me know. I really don't think Sheryl Underwood is that funny, but from what he said is, he's basically like, he doesn't care about the things that go on online because in real life people like him. In real life he gets love, he's supported, and that he's changed people's lives, right? He said he's changed people's lives. So, and he said he's put so many people on, right? And so he's like, listen, he told Sheryl, like, it don't matter, because she was like second guessing the jokes of saying certain things. And he was like, well, she was like, well, I'm being told that I shouldn't say this and this. And he was like, who was telling you that? Basically, like, this is my sugar honey iced tea. I'm telling you to say what you want to say. Who's telling you this? So I kind of understand the standpoint of if we look at it, everything, and we, like I said, we like to look at the things and really see what's in it because it's everyday living in it. We can learn from it. So I understand the standpoint of this, my sugar honey iced tea. You can't tell me what to do. Hence, as of I remember before I've gone on like different podcasts, when I first started and people wanted me to be a guest, and I would be so good as a guest that they would ask me to be a host. And then when it came time for me to do my hosty thing, y'all know how that went. You know? So it's one of those things where I definitely understood. It's like you can't censor me. Only I can censor me, and that's why I started my platform so that I can do what I want to do. So I understand his standpoints on, hey, nobody got any say so in what you do. It's almost like when you tell your kids, well, my teacher said I can't do it. I told you, I don't care what your teacher said. You go do and you X, Y, and Z. The teacher said I can't change my shoes. You are going to change your shoes, whether you got to go to the bathroom or 2 minutes before you guys get out of class. You are going to change your shoes. I don't care if you have recess for 30 minutes. As soon as it's time for recess, change the shoes. So it's one of those type things, right? So I definitely get his stance on that, but I don't think that she's funny, right? And but like he said, now, and I don't know because I'm not a fan of hers. So, but I want somebody to find out. Well, y'all could tell me. I know Sanera and Andre. Y'all my little private eyes. Y'all be letting me know. Has she ever had a stand-up comedy on Netflix? Let's research that. I'm telling y'all to do it. I'm right here, but y'all know I be tired. Let's see. Has she ever had one? Because now, she's about to get one. That's what he said on the thing, right? Let's see. Because y'all know if y'all know where I'm about to go. If you feel me, y'all know because it's right in our eyes. Let's see. Because you get it when you connected to some people, when you connected to certain people, it's just like knowing certain people will get you a job, right? People can get you in somewhere. So let's see. She has a Netflix project. Okay, how many does she have though? How many? Let's see. Hold on. How many? Let's see. Oh, they trying to include the shit with Kevin. No. Wait a minute. So I don't think she has one. I'm about to find out. We about to see, y'all. We about to see. We about to see. Hold on. It's quick on my phone. Okay. Let's see. All right, we about to see. Because I don't know if she do. All right, no. So she does not, okay? So Kevin Hart today said, I don't care what nobody say, she this, that, and the third. And I'm telling her, well, who say? He said, because he said she's about to have it now. She's about to have a Netflix special. So here we go. Are y'all ready? Where are we going with it? Where do y'all think we about to go with this, right? After hearing Sheryl Underwood state she approved the fact that they would speak about her late husband, they all signed on for it. They did. So that was the thing. They all signed on for it. And even though they signed on for it, people were still saying, hey, it was still distasteful. It still shouldn't have been done. Granted, if somebody is telling me that they're about to do something and I say, okay, go ahead and do it, it's like, okay, what you upset for? But I definitely get it. It's like, look, if she don't got no problem with it, then you don't got no problem with it. Okay. So then you have not she's about as funny as DL Hughley. But you know what though? I've seen something where DL was funny. DL has been funny, but he's not funny all the way through. Like I really think I can't remember the Kings of Comedy because I only loved it for Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, and Steve Harvey, right? But DL Hughley had a couple little key moments on there. I might gotta go back and watch it. But yeah, I don't really think that he's funny either, She says, I haven't watched the roast or anything addressing it. Okay. And so that's where some people's stance is too. Like, hey, I don't want to see it. I don't want to watch it. This and the third. So Kevin is just like, listen, I didn't have a problem with it. It doesn't matter. Now Sheryl is about to. He's saying he's trying to address the fact that people said, oh, he's a sellout and he's cooning. That's why I said, what's a sellout? Let's see what a sellout is. Because is that even a real thing? Or was that a culture word? Let's see. Let's make sure we use it. Look at this, says selling an entire stock of something, especially tickets for an entertainment or sports event. Okay, I can see how that fit there. Let's see what cooning. I asked y'all don't want to tell me what y'all definition is. What's cooning? Persuading someone to do or believe something. Typically used by deception. Let's see. Let's go to this. No, that's conning. What is cooning? This is con. What is cooning? I don't even. Let's see if it's cooning in there. Look, did these people take away the words off of the internet? Because it ain't even giving me no definition. Let me go back to let me go back to my handy, trusty double friend. She said, DL is an acquired taste, but I like him. He definitely is. He's not that bad. But you know who is funny? That damn Bill Bellamy. Bill Bellamy is funny, even though I know we're not talking about Bill Bellamy. But I didn't know if Bill Bellamy was gonna be funny, but Bill Bellamy came to the Baltimore factory and was hilarious. Okay, yeah. So that's why I'm having issues. So it's a slang. It's a slang. Cooning is a slang. Rooted in racism, it comes from the racial slur coon. Blah blah blah. Today, when people say and use the term cooning, they usually believe that a black person is embarrassing or degrading black people for approval. Okay. So then we got it. So then I guess he was cooning. But here we are. Remember, I said we saw that where why is this like this? No, you don't want to do that. Where I did not tell y'all, it seems like when people get attached to certain people, they end up getting like different positions. They ended up getting doors and stuff open for them. So I do see that. It definitely does, I know that roastings apparently are supposed to be where you just talk about the person. Like you go in on the person, you talk about the person and all of that, right? But it's like to a degree, right? But I don't know. Cause I'm not really like into that. I'm not into roastings in the comedy world and stuff like that. But I do feel like that. Is there a thing of taking a joke too far? Can you take a joke too far? Or does that really depend upon the person that you're saying the joke to? Because we do live in a world today where everybody gets offended. Everybody's upset about something. Nobody is going to like everything. I totally get that. But I don't know. I feel like I want us to wrap this conversation up. Wrap it up. But at the same time, it's so much that could be learned from this conversation. You know what I mean? Yes, you can. Okay. But I feel like there's so much that could be learned from this. Like for instance, when he was on the Breakfast Club with them, I used to love the Breakfast Club, but now I started like looking at them a little side eye because I just see how they move and they do certain things. Because it's almost like if they feel like you do something wrong, especially Charlemagne. It's like even if he feel like you doing something wrong, but because he getting a check out of something, he ain't gonna really be able to give his own opinion on it 100%. You know what I mean? Or when you become cool with people, if you cool with Kevin, because friends like to lie to each other, right? Like if he's cool with Kevin, he's not gonna really sit there and tell Kevin in front of the world with millions and thousands and hundreds of listeners, like, yo, I feel like you went too far. But we don't know what the conversation may be offline. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you never really know when someone is really being like authentic. Uh, but he was just like, and then I see a couple other people that are saying like, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. I feel like it's serious to those who believe and want it to be serious. You know what I mean? It's serious to those people who are affected by it. And then the thing in the matter is, not everybody's going to find everything to be funny. Because then here's the other side to that. I saw something where, I didn't know because I didn't keep up with the George Floyd thing, but then someone else was talking about it. I love me some Charleston where he said George Floyd was a criminal. George Floyd had broke into a lady's house while she was pregnant and put a pum pum to her stomach, right? So his whole standpoint is he said, "Fuck George Floyd, fuck him," right? And so then there's that. So it's like, okay, so now that we get more pieces to the puzzle, I get what he's saying. Like, how we feeling bad for him when he was out here harming the community? You get what I'm saying? So it gets spooky, ooky, ooky. And it becomes very interesting. And these are the things that I'd be like, these are the things that make me go, okay. Both in my opinion, you can clown me, but I don't want you to talk about certain things. Okay. Okay. Definitely. So is that meant more like, we could joke, we could play around, but you can't say nothing to me that's truthful, or some people feel like their children are off limits. Some people feel like, speaking on their, deceased relatives are off limits, because everybody has their look. We could do this, but not too much. So definitely, maybe should we just not joke with people at all? You know? But it's almost like get the cool people to accept some foolishness, because if you co-signed it, then it's okay for us to do it. Sonera said their licensure does not allow the Breakfast Club to speak freely. Absolutely. So you can even see the change in the dynamics of that. So it's almost like, who is really out here saying how they really feel? She said, oh, wow, that sort of changes things. Exactly. So it's like the more and more we learn about different things, the more and more details we get, it's like, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know anything about, George Floyd and all of that. Now, mind you, Candace Owens was spilling everything about George Floyd and nobody wanted to listen to her. But then here we are, and you got Charleston White. I love Charleston White. And he's talking about it, and he's like, at the end of the day, George Floyd did X, Y, Z, robbed this black woman in her house, put a gun to her belly while she was pregnant. And he said, what he said was, and you mean to tell me he couldn't get up off the ground and go fight? Matter of fact, I can go find it. Y'all know I can find it. He was like, you mean to tell me he couldn't get off the ground and fight the white man? Because his whole thing was us as black people. He was like, we will fight and we will hurt and we will harm each other all day long. But the people who are here that want to do harm, that are trying to do harm, that are harming us, we don't even go to bat with them, whether they are police or not. I guess he feel like you should have went out, guns a blazing. Well, hold on, I'm about to let you see his thing, because I don't think that'll get struck. Let me see. Here we go. Let's see. Where is he at? He is hilarious. Let's see where he at. Hold on. Y'all feel me? Charleston White and George Floyd. Where he at? Hold on, because he be saying so much stuff, y'all, that you gotta.
He claimed Bloods. Who put him down with the Bloods? Oh, Stephen Jackson? Yeah, ain't Bloods. Him and Antoine. What's that?
Hold on.
Because we transfer spirits. She might got a molestation.
Hold on, y'all. Where is it at? I'm gonna find it for y'all. Audrey said you can joke about Lily. I said,
believe there's kings.
where he at? Because he be like, you couldn't get up.
What do you think we need to do as a community to change that? You need to go back and apologize to every woman you think you
Baby,
have.
hold on, let's
you
see.
think you've done not apologize.
Hold
That's
on.
why you can't get ahead, nigga.
Is this it?
I'm gonna say why I say this.
Oh, hold on, y'all. We getting closer. We getting closer. You feel me? You can joke. We all need a good laugh, but it can borderline disrespect. And you gotta remember, we all have different.
The discipline left because the parents.
We have different. Everybody has a different thing of what's disrespectful to them, right? Wait a minute. Where is that? Because he hops up off the chair, yelling and screaming. He hops up off the chair, and I was like, "Oh, Charleston, they about to be mad with you."
So you.
Hold on, let me see. You feel me? She said, "Yeah, I have a limit."
What you think we need to do as a? I'm gonna say this. You ain't.
Okay, he on the stage. I know where it's at. I'm getting closer, y'all, because I want y'all to hear it. Because it wasn't until I heard it where I was like, "Oh, well, maybe he got a little pointy point." It's almost as bad as when they say, we scream free such and such. Like they say, you screaming free such and such, free the shooter, but something. I was like, okay, Charleston. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it right this second. I didn't plan on playing Charleston today, but yeah. I think sometimes when we know the truth, when we know the whole stories about some things.
Tell me you gonna look past everything your family done been through.
Let me say.
Your mama been beat.
Let me
your
say.
Daddy said, bitch, fuck. Niggas built the roads to
I gotta find it another time, okay? I can't. I gotta find it another time. Cause it's just so many. But outside of that, I don't know. It's just like you have people where you be like, look, I joke with people, but look, you can't joke with me like that. And it's almost like, well, what is that in us that makes us say, you can't joke with me like that, but somebody else can joke with you like that? And I guess it's because it boils down to, the person, their intentions, where they're coming from with it. I do think that it's kind of crazy that it was no black people who wrote those jokes. And if you've seen the group of people who wrote the roast, let's pull that up. It is a little interesting. It is a little interesting when you see who wrote the roast. But again, it's like, listen, we I don't know. He just doesn't feel sorry he doesn't feel sorry about it. And I just feel like that we need to hang this up. They saying that people want Kevin to just apologize. But if he, like he said, if he don't feel like he did nothing wrong, he don't have anything to apologize for. He said that. Like, I'm not apologizing for it. He said, I'll be putting people on. And he said, in this seat is a lot of things that I do, is a lot of, hats you carry. And he said, and there's a lot of people who are saying what they think I should have done that will never be in my predicament and will never be in my position. So why should I be listening to what anybody else has to say about it? Some people felt like he was being a little defensive and all those things. Oh, and he said they was like, oh, well, you were a sellout. You didn't have, you were a sellout towards the black people. But he said, look, I had the Roots on there. I brought out Meek Mills. He said he had the Plastic Cup Boys just sitting on the stage, just there. Like, how did I make this a black event and was doing all of this clowning in front of white people when it was black people there? So, tomato could go one or two ways. But I think we need to just hang it up. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like Sanara said, she hasn't watched it yet. You're either going to support it or you're not. I think that goes with a lot of the things. Like, we can really just save our energy on a lot of things if it comes down to, look, it is what it is. But I do feel like that it is what it is. It's also the thing that sets us back too. because it's like, no, things shouldn't be what it is. And I saw someone saying he wouldn't have let, like, or if it didn't matter, why didn't he make like an Emmett Till joke? Like, you think Emmett Till mother would have sat there and let you talk about and mock that of her son? You know what I'm saying? And not do that. But he said roasts are supposed to be dark humor. Roasts are supposed to be that. So I don't know, because I'm not really a roasting person. You know, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. That's not really me. So I don't know. CJ said it's all weird. Things like that just show me who to take serious and who not, to as far as how I see life. I don't know him personally, so I don't take it personal, but I see it for what it is. Yeah. And because it's almost like, okay, you say here, look, you got sanctioned. You say here, you let us pour and dump on your people and even dump on you. And now look at that. Sheryl has an entire goddamn Netflix series that's coming out, a Netflix special in 2027. So I do see where it's kind of like, damn, at the cost of anything, y'all accept anything. But then the white lady, right? Who I learned that, Chelsea Handler, who I learned that they don't really care for either, right? She spoke out and went on the interview on this other podcast, and she said she thought the jokes were fun. She thought they weren't. She said she thought they were disgusting. She said nobody found them to be funny. So it's almost like, it's really like, well, what do we believe? What is there? How did it go? Right? Because she's saying that nobody found it funny. Let me show y'all. She said nobody thought it was funny. She didn't think it was funny, but she said she's also not here. She said she's white. Who am I to tell black people what's funny to them and what's not? She said that. She said, who am I to tell black people what's funny and what's not? She said, no, I didn't think it was hilarious. She said, I didn't think none of it was funny. But then she talked about the one guy where she was like, he she said, but he's a known like little racist. So it's almost like, to get into these things is like, let's humiliate one, lane of folk while uplifting another. So I don't know, y'all. What y'all think? Because we can move right along. I'm just like, let's wrap this up. But he spoke out, and they're saying that him speaking out made it worse. He didn't make any sense. He didn't explain. And then, they're saying that us as people, the black community just want him to apologize. Then I seen Corey Holcomb. He posted a video of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant dancing. I don't know how old it was, but she was dancing and shaking her butt. And it was like, but she's supposed to be a doctor. It's like, so she's not supposed to dance and have fun because she's a doctor? Like, you know how many doctors out here get stone cold wasted? You know how many doctors out here get high and go to work? It's like, sir, please. Now, we're living in a world now where what you do, we place these expectations onto people that they didn't ask us to put on them. Like, let's say in that situation, right? Who said that Kevin Hart was the representation for the whole black culture? Who said that because you are a doctor, you can't dance and shake your butt? Like, who said that? Somebody was recording her. Like, who said that? It's almost like people are in certain positions. I don't even know. I keep hearing about him, but he seemed like he's a little hater. And I seen a black girl today talking about she don't like Dr. Cheyenne Bryant because She think that people are jealous of her, and she don't like the fact that that narrative is being put out there saying that the black women are jealous. But it's like, girl, no, y'all keep using this lady as a talking point when she's not the one who said anybody was jealous of her. So that I saw, but it was Dr. Umar who said that the people who are crucifying this lady are men and black women. And he said it's a lot of them because they jealous of her. She's nice looking. She's in rooms that they could never get in. She X, Y, and Z. Then I seen something to where the person was like, somebody else was like, they posted like a picture of her house, right? I don't even know if this is really her house. But I'm just talking about like just how we go as people. They posted a picture of her house. She has a pool, right? In this picture, she had a pool in her backyard. Nice house, all this. And was like, and she's just, uh, getting from the vulnerable and the weak, taking from the poor to keep her rich. But do y'all say that when y'all out here buying all these designers? Do you say that? How do you get that? Like, you have pastors who preaching Gucci, Dior, red bottoms. Y'all seen Drewski's skit. That wasn't a lie. So should they not look nice then? Why other people in the congregation is probably going through it, especially now in the economy. It's like, come on, y'all. Like, look at what we are asking and putting on to people. So if you're a pastor, you can't dress nice. You got to look like you're going through the struggle. If you are a doctor, you can't be out dancing. Excuse me. You can't be out dancing and having a good time. But I understand why celebrities have these NDAs. So somebody can't be with you. You are being who you are. You free. You off the clock. You're not on the camera. And somebody else is with you and they're waiting for their next big moment. And you are included in that big moment, whether it's voluntary or involuntarily. And now you all over the internet because you was dancing. Like, let me show y'all this video. Because y'all know this is the type of things that grinds my gears. So I just feel like, y'all, it does get to a point where it does seem like some of this stuff with this woman is becoming hate. Like, no, and there's no shade. It's like y'all hating on this lady for no reason. And now she can't even shake it. She can't. It looks like that's kind of like, remember when it was the thing when when Obama was president? Do y'all remember when Obama was president? And they were like, oh my God, Obama's daughters were down at Mardi Gras on a balcony. Oh my God, such and such Obama daughter smokes cigarettes. It's like, shut up. Who cares? I'm trying to find the video he just did on her. Like, y'all are some haters. Y'all are some haters. And nothing. I blame what his name is. I blame I'm looking for the video, y'all. I blame what his name is? Kevin Samuels. Who then gave people these men this right to sit up here and just talk about women all day. Unless you are having a conversation, right? For conversational and entertainment purposes. And he's like, this is your doctor. I'm gonna show y'all this video. But didn't he just punch a young lady in her face? Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. hate that people with professional job titles, social statuses are still people. Like, what's wrong with folks? Exactly. Here we go. Found it. He said he called her a bus man. He said she's a bus man. Let's no, no. I'm about to share the screen with you. And now he's attacking the fact trying to say she's a lesbian. Kids. All right, look. All right, so look, y'all. I can't speed it up, but right. All right, wait a minute. Let's get into it. So he was like, he just said she's a doctor. Blah, blah, blah. Look, he like, this who you are. You a bus man. She's at iHeartRadio right before she do the Breakfast Club. He said she a bus man, right? Look at this. Now he's saying, now he's like, who is she is? Everybody why her relationships don't work. Who's the lady? I think it's just corny. I think it's just corny. I think it's corny. At this point, it's like, okay, it's no longer about, hey, let's talk for talking points and get some clicks. Now it's like, oh, you just talking about this lady, just don't even know her. Probably couldn't even get near. It's just crazy. What'd you say? So I guess it's wrong because she keep a fresh pair. She's out of line, according to America. CJ, yes. She is out of line. Because those shoes cost a pretty penny. She is completely out of line. But this is it. That's how it is. What else? What's this other comment says? Bend over, let me see you shake a tail feather. Can you bend over? Let me see you shake a tail feather. I think that's a time for me to watch that movie. I've been thinking and singing it all day. I'd rather Cheyenne shake her tail feather because that's what she likes to do rather than front like she's a boring piece of bread. Then we find out she bluffing. It's almost like when Boosie was upset when Sexyy Red's sex video got leaked. Remember that? When he was like, all this stuff she be talking, I thought I was going to see her in that video getting down, getting dog washed. Her sex video is regular. She had a bonnet on. It's like, y'all are psycho. Please let's not talk about it. It is. It is. You know what I mean? It is definitely a whole nother show in itself because that's what we could get into it. It's almost like even if things happen for you and you do get better, people don't want you to look better, feel better, or even dress better or anything like that. Um, and I just think that we just have to really, like I said, continue to do our research, look deep, do your research. So just be considerate of how you would feel if these things were being done and said to you. It's almost like because if you are a parent and then your kids acting up, for a person to be like, well, you the parent, so your kids should be living and walking on a straight and narrow. But the parent is a person too. You know, we can't put all these unwanted expectations onto people that they didn't ask for us to place on them. Now, of course, when you get a microphone or whatever you're doing in your, profession, or whatever your brand or whatever it is that you're representing, you want to always carry that. That's why for me, like I do lifestyle. Like I'm a lifestyle brand. Or you might see, yeah, you bound to see anything on my page. You know, um, you get peekaboo hits and stuff. You get to see this, you get a little glimpse of that. But that's just what it is. But then if you have like we know that Tabitha Brown, I love Tabitha Brown, but you hardly ever see Tabitha Brown get out of character. Let's just say she's not on camera today, and somebody catches her yelling and screaming and arguing with like either her husband or somebody in a store, whatever it may be. Somebody will post that video and be like, "Oh, but she sit on her page every day giving out. Don't let nobody else mess up your day." Da 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 da. It's like I think we forget that we never said that we weren't human and we don't have a good or a bad day. Who said that? What I say? Even Jesus flipped the table over at the tabernacle. Even he got fed up. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta understand that we are all human and we are all just learning and going. And this is why I feel like we need to stop really judging and accepting and putting unnecessary expectations, putting voluntary voluntations. That's what we're gonna call them. Voluntations. We have to stop putting voluntations on people. If you want to know what voluntations is us volunteering expectations onto people that they didn't ask us to give them. How are you voluntations me to be an honest person and I'm a liar? I ain't never told you believe me. Don't voluntations me. Or if I say I'm going to do this and I do the opposite, don't voluntations me. Don't voluntations me. I like that word. Do y'all like that word? We got a new word of the day. Voluntations. Don't voluntations me. Don't voluntations me. Don't voluntations me. Oh, but you're supposed to be a role model and all this, and the third. And you do. We have to look at how people carry themselves and conduct themselves. But yo, if I'm off, I'm off. That's why you don't let your coworkers follow you online and know what you're doing and all of this other stuff. They gotta go through a screening before you become cool with somebody. I'm like, okay, let me see. You meet. Can you get in? Because I hate to freaking lay you out because you want to go to HR and tell HR what I was doing because you voluntations me. You feel me? That was funny. I can't lie. Sexyy Red music set up from he said for that video should have looked like. You see? But that's still voluntation. Well, I ain't gonna lie. That is kind of voluntations. But she did make it seem that way. So you gotta be able to read between the lines. Because I can't even say that is still like a voluntations thing, but it's like, girl, you said all this stuff, so people did that. So she more like she didn't. I wouldn't say that's voluntations. What is it that she did? It is voluntations, though. I think that we might call it a different word. Let's see. All right, what Sexyy Red did, if you looked at it and you thought that she was supposed to be a little more freaky on that video, because you thought that, based upon what she said, or that's voluntations on your end. On her end, it was more like she lied. You know? She lied. Can we do that? She lied. Well, what is lied? She voluntarily gave us information on lyrics, lying, which led to us voluntations on her. Voluntating her. I feel like that flows. Does that flow? She lied, which gave us, the public, or as they say, the masses, the right to voluntations her. I feel like I'm liking that. The voluntations, the volalied. Yeah. She volalied. And she volalied, which is volunteering a lie. And what did you do? You put an expectation on her thinking that video of her having sex was going wild out. That was you voluntations. You fell for the volalied. You fell for the volalied. She volalied. And you fell for it. And then you become disappointed. That's a lot of accountability there. So we got to do that. Just like, me and one of my friends was talking before the show, and she's like, she brought that up. Like, well, that's just like a preacher's kid. Preacher's kids, they say preacher's kids are the worst ones. I was like, yeah, because I used to, I understand that. I said, but who said that pastor's children knew better? And she was like, well, because you would think because of what they're taught and all these things. Absolutely. But they are all still human. So that's a voluntation. It is a unwanted. Ooh, we got to come up with something for assumptions. That's an assumption. That is it's not would that be like an ignorant assumption? I'm thinking that's an assumption. Because it's not a voluntation. It's not a voluntations. It's not a voluntations. It's just assumptions. Yeah, I think we just want to stick with assumptionations. Assumptionations is an assumption that you thought. Assumptionations. So the assumptionations, and I said to her, you have to remember, the pastor is still a human too. I think we forget that there are steps and there are things that people go through to get to where they are. And it's like assumptionations. You like that? Okay, that's the new word. We got new words today. I'm all right. Somebody got to write them down so I can put them in the group tomorrow. These are the new words. Because you got to think about it. Because just like, okay, here's another notion. Kids who grow up in a two-parent household, we automatically assume that they would get married, they would be more respectful, right? They would father kids or become parents and wait till the right time, or father kids and be an active dad or be a father, right? Because they come from a two solid home background. That's assumptionations. That's assumptionations. Some of them do, as far as you may have 4 siblings and maybe 2 or 1 may be married. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean anything because everybody is still an individual. Everybody still gets to make their own choices. And we all have a different journey. Like we all have a different path. And your path may not look like mine. But that don't mean I can't reach my greatness just like you reach your greatness, right? So maybe we need to start getting rid of the assumptionations, the voluntations, and the volalize, because it's all perceived notions. That's not fair. Think about it. You got a hairstylist. She know how to do hair. But not all hairstylists know how to do every hairstyle. You got a barber. He's slick with the cut. But every barber don't know how to do a good liner. Every barber ain't out here with the Beijing. You know what I mean? So it's like we assume assumptionations. You said you are this hairstylist, this barber, this two-parent household, this pastor, this lawyer, doctor, this police officer. Your household is supposed to be intact. That's assumptionations. It's an assumption, a perceived notion. When it's like, well, who told you that my children should be married? And it's like, it's a lot of married single parents. That's a whole nother conversation. Ain't that what you say, CJ? It's a lot of two-parent households that are single parents. So that's a whole not, that's a different thing. Then you have some single family, single parent kids who grow up and they too are married. Like my mom raised us, but my brother got married. You know what I mean? My cousin, like, was raised too, a grandmother and everybody raised, and she got married. So it's like we can't even measure that a lot of the times. But what seeing those things do, they do put some standards, right? Some morals, some stability in you. They may grow up and be a little more stable, though. They may grow up and be able to be in a longevity relationship because they saw it. You know what I mean? Because they seen the structure, the dynamic of it. With us, we weren't born knowing all of this stuff. We were taught it. We were kids. We pick it up. Our families are the first people to teach us to lie. Your mother or your father, the first person to tell you to lie. Your family, the first people that tell you how to keep a secret. Because why? You don't say what go on in this house. We fuck each other up from the get-go. I'm just saying. We do it. We teach our kids to lie. We teach them to be deceitful and then get mad when they lie. Think about it. When a kid tell you, oh, dad, oh, my, no, that's not what you said. You do this. Mind your business. What you do? You should have been in my conversation. We be mad that our kids are able to recognize that you're lying or that you're saying something that's not true. Come on now, y'all know. Oh, now we quiet now. Now we don't know. Now you feel me? Like we don't want to go there today. For the last 10 minutes before I get out of here, we don't want to go there. Is that too? We just dive over to the thing. But that's the truth. That's the truth. We are taught to lie. We're taught to keep secrets. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't say that. You gotta move like this. We even tell we teach people, we raise our kids and things like that, but we even will tell them what we think they should do as far as wanting them to be little yous, kinda. And well, let me explain, because I know that's probably like, wait a minute, well, where is that coming from? But it's like, if your kids like to, let's say they like to do certain things with their food, for example. But Xavier, oh my gosh, Xavier used to like to eat the craziest stuff. Like he went through a phase where he liked to just dip all his food into sauces. But it's almost like, don't do that because that's nasty. You can't do that. And he would be like, no, but I like it. It tastes good. We'll even try to control what they like. How do we know that the ketchup, mayonnaise, ranch dressing, and pizza and barbecue sauce don't taste good on chicken if we never did it? But then you can't do it. And we say, you're going to make yourself sick. Well, how you know if you don't try? But how you know it don't really taste good to them? Or it's just the things that we do, a lot of the times. And it's just like, hey, we know if you eat a lot of junk food and stuff like that, it can make your stomach hurt, it can make it upset. We do know that, but it's like, oh, candy gonna make you hype. But I feel like I don't believe that notion. So just me, I'm speaking for me. I don't think candy keep kids up. I feel like kids are already super hyper. They're energetic. And this might be the wrong analogy, but goddamn it, Draco. He just turned 4, y'all. But Draco, I feel like sometimes I'm like, I did you a disservice because I ain't been with all that playing, running around, hoop ride all day, 25, 15, 16, 17, 18 times a day. I looked at him the other day. We was in the room and I was like, you should have been a goldfish, because he had to get up and go to the bathroom. But he has his moments when he, pew, 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 pew. A dog will, they get excited when you walk out. They see you. My door is closed, and I guarantee you, when I get out of here in a few moments and go in the studio, he's going to grab his toy, and it's like he ain't never seen me all day. And I've been in here all day, right? It's like kids, they just know to be happy. They have a kid brain. They have kid brain. So I don't always believe that like candies and stuff like that is going to mess with the kids and make them that. It's like they're already like that. And just like that, with me, who don't get silly and goofy and be extra and doing stuff when they sleepy or become delirious? Imagine that as a kid. I know I be talking outside my head sometimes while I get silly. I'll be like, ooh, I know I'm sleepy because I'm acting a fool. And it's like, well, girl, if you know, you know. So it's one of those things. And so yeah, it's just like we don't let people be. We definitely have to guide and teach, but you can raise a kid and teach them everything. But it gets to a certain point where everybody gets to a certain age where they have to learn on their own. They're going to explore. They're going to do different things. And guess what? I remember a couple years ago, I was working at my job, and this is when I was like growing and still growing. And me and one of my coworkers and stuff, we was having a conversation, but an older lady, she said, she gonna get it together. Our kids, she said she had like 2 or 3 or 4 of them. She, older girl. She was like, they gonna get it together. She said she gonna get it together. We all eventually get it together. She said, now she gonna drive you crazy in the process. It's gonna drive you bananas, but they gonna get it together. And I was like, you right. So when you think about it, I'm like, shit, I look at some of the stuff I did when I was growing up, like, woo. But that's the truth and how it is. We have to guide, teach people how to treat us. But it's like, if your kid is repeating everything, and my thing is, oh, that Mockingbird, they repeating everything. But if you know your kids are listening, because we always think kids don't listen, then why are you even having certain conversations around them? And then you get mad because they repeating what they heard. Like, come on. Like, we start off being ass backwards. You know what I mean? You should be ever minding your business playing with a toy. But was you in your room when you was little minding your business playing with your toys when you heard your parents talking? No, kids, naturally by nature, we're curious. But then, right, we meet and we grow up, and then we have people telling us that being nosy, you shouldn't be nosy. You need to mind your business. Think about it. If everybody mind their business, we wouldn't have no private eye investigators. Some of these things be skills being developed in the making. I remember when I first started doing makeup back in like 2013, whatever. I didn't have a whole lot of people. I would go around and just practice on people, but at the same time, I used to do my daughter makeup all the time. I used to put stuff on her, right? And I feel like I'm like, you shouldn't put no makeup on her, And I get it because this is how it is now. Like, you shouldn't put makeup on her. She ain't that grown, this and the third, but she my muse, right? Listen, I ain't beating her face so she can go to school. I need to learn how to do these brows and fix this, But at the end of the day, me doing that, she can beat her face to the gods. She better than me with the makeup. I'm going to keep it a bean. So it's like sometimes these are skills that are being played. Even when you were young, if your friends and stuff like that was going around doing each other hair. My best friend do hair. She was doing my hair when we was kids. Like it become these become skills, but I think what it is sometimes because we have to be the mother, the father. In some situations, we have so much going on that we don't really have the time to be able to say, let me see how I can nurture and spend this. Like, oh, is this what your kid is into? Let me add to that. Here goes some nails. Here goes some makeup brushes. And you can say, hey, you ain't going out to the store with me like that. We about to go to, what you going to, we got to wipe that off, put on some little lip gloss. That's one thing. But if they around and they like got the makeup and stuff on in the house, just walking around, yo, I feel like as black people, like everything is not always being too grown. Whereas though you will see a white person, no shade, because we got black people that do today. You'll see a white person to see their kid doing that shit. And they trying to research how to get their kid to start up with a kitty lip gloss line. And now they got their kid. You get what I'm saying? Now they got their kid making products, or your kids like scrunchies and doing this. Now they got a scrunchie business. They learning how to do this. It's all about what we do and how we choose our little boys. Oh, now remember last year we seen the things where it was like, oh, the little boys shouldn't play with kitchen sets. Well, if little boys shouldn't play with kitchen sets and the little chef sets, and if your mother shouldn't teach you to cook, how the hell do we got all these chefs out here? These male chefs. So it's just like, yo, sometimes a lot of this stuff is the culture and the thinking, it's the mindset. It's the mindset. If you got a little kid that like to eat healthy, you never know, that mother freaking might turn out to grow up to be a body trainer and an instructor and things like that. You know, so I think that we need to just really start, cultivating the gifts and the skills that we see in our kids. It's nothing wrong with giving them things to do, right? And making sure they're structured and they have some discipline and they do some things. But I think that it is okay from time to time to be like, what do you like? What do you like? What are you into? But I feel like because we are so much always on the go, especially in a black household, we ain't got time. I ain't got time to sit down with you for 20 minutes and find out what your favorite color is today. Because BGE get cut off tomorrow. You know what I mean? I ain't got time to sit around, It's almost like when I was reading this book, and I also seen things with Ayanla and I also seen an interview with Ayanla where she was saying, that oftentimes we are not able to be the soft parent, to be able to be like, especially single mothers. Oh, you got a boo-boo, let me kiss it, let me scratch it. We're not always able to do that all the time. Sometimes it's like oh, go put a Band-Aid on, go sit down, go over there, and go ahead. Can you do my homework? You was in school all day. You need me to sit here and do the homework? So it's just like, these are, I say it all the time. I was like, listen, Lord, I know if I ever had me no another baby. Listen, you hear that saying? Me no another baby. If I had me no another baby, right? I say this all the time. I'm like, yo, I pray to God that I'll be as blessed as I was when I got pregnant so young, because I did not have to help my daughter with homework. I can count on one hand in all her life of how many times I had to help her, and I sat and helped her with her homework. Somebody might be like, oh, that's trifling. Somebody else might say that. You can call it what you want. But I'm so glad that I didn't have to do that. Hey, friend, that I didn't have to do that, because God knows me. I don't have the patience. I ain't even do my own homework. But it's just one of those things where it was like, I also think, like, I trusted where I sent her. Like she started out like the private school daycare, went to the little private, and they had already structured them in that, and so she had already knew how to be in a classroom because she had been in a classroom setting since she was really little, so sometimes it does help definitely doesn't matter to have that structure, right? But I entrusted that my money, back then, this $5.20 a month. Well, if I got lunch, let them include this $5.60 a month. And this private thing, I'm trusting that y'all are doing that. So I'm trusting, She went to the thing where they couldn't get up without doing their homework. They couldn't do this. So I'm trusting that where I'm sending you is doing their job, because at that time I was a cop. I wasn't thinking don't work. Police officers don't never close. I'm always working. So it was really good. I remember one time it was like some math homework one time. I think maybe she was like in elementary school or something like that. Yeah, I only remember ever helping my daughter maybe like 3. And I say I can count on one hand, and that's really even a lie. I helped her maybe like 2 times. I never had to help her. And that was a blessing to me. Now, when she got old and got to high school, y'all know how it is when you get high school, you got to fight. Listen, I graduated, but she finished school, but it was like that. But all the way through, like up until, that junior, senior, around that little sophomore year, like I can honestly say out of her entire existence on this planet, I helped her with her homework maybe like 2-3 times. And so that's why I be like, yo, I can't have no another kid, because I don't want to have to sit and be that parent. Especially with this new math they got going on. Bad enough, I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, I ain't did nothing with trigonometry yet. Not now job I had to figure out what the square root of y was. You know what I mean? So it's just things like that. I just think that we need to change our mindsets. Be really with the times and how things are right now, where everybody is trying to make it like we got to make some investments in our money. We got to invest in our mind. We have to try to do things different. Put some stuff in your kids' names. And I ain't talking about credit stuff. I'm talking about maybe like some businesses or something to help them find what they're good at to cultivate it. Hell, while you at it, find what you're good at cultivating and cultivate it and get it together. Y'all saw a couple weeks ago when Sonara showed us what the income below poverty and all that ratio was according to the society. But it's like, come on, man. COVID came and so many people came up with so many businesses and got creative to do so many things and do all this other stuff. Like, come on, we gotta wake up. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, and it's a new sheriff in town. And we gotta really gotta get it together, because ain't nobody gonna give us nothing. Like my goal, my plan here is I'm working on stop always rescuing my kid from everything. It sucked, but sometimes you gotta let them learn the hard way. Hit rock bottom. It's very difficult, but it's just like, you know what? If I sit around and worry about what you're doing all day, I'm going to drive me crazy. So I can't be worrying about what you're doing all day and worrying about what I'm doing all day, because I don't know what I'm doing all day. And you know what I say? If mama ain't right, ain't nobody going to be right. That's crazy as fuck when you think about it. It's like a lot of us get forced into a space where we can't be the parents we really want to be because we're trying to make life work. And that's really what it is. Like we're all out here doing the best that we can. Like even when it comes to like being upset with your own parents and things like that, it could be a lot. But it's like, yo, at the end of the day, yo, everybody did the best that they could do. There is no handbook on how to be a parent out here. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But what you are in control of is what you do. You know damn well if you ain't taking care of the first 3 kids, you need to wear a condom, go get a vasectomy, and stop procreating. You know if the motherfucker ain't help you out with the first 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, stop popping off babies by these niggas. Then you got the government right now where we're living in, they're trying to get rid of Section 8 and everything for a certain period of time. You better go get a job. And then you have people who are on the system sometimes, who are in those situations and who are on those systems that will hinder themselves and not want to go get a job making more because they don't want to pay market rent. Get it together. Like we talked about earlier in the show, when do you challenge yourself to say, I want more? I know if my stuff was stagnant and I couldn't do anything and there was a cap on what I could do, I would freaking scream. I go to work, get jobs, do all of that, and going and getting jobs make me feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. That's why I used to have this real bad quitting habit. Job seemed too serious. I got to go. This ain't for me. So I couldn't even do it with a regular job, and just do it and go with the system. So I know damn well I couldn't get my rent be $2 and I'm just chilling. And I said, oh, they say, hey, you're doing a good job at work. We want to bump your salary up. We want to promote you and give you a $40 raise $40 raise? Yeah, you get a $40 raise. Now I'm making $45 an hour, and I'm going to refuse to do the $45 an hour because I don't want my rent to go up to market? Get out of here. Like, these things were put in place to also be a stepping stone to help you, not to become a lifestyle. Like camera tip top dip dip beginning, whatever he say. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, we got to do it. We got to do something. And then at the same time, I need more money than what they be trying to give. That's why I be like, yo, if I got unemployment like they was getting unemployment every week, I saw people that was going to, Dubai and getting surgeries and doing all this stuff and hanging outside and doing the blowing the PPP. Shit, let me have been getting at least $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a week. And at that time, I could have still claimed my kid. What? My bank account would have been chugged. My debt would have been cleared. A house would have been brought. You know what I mean? Like, no, because it's like, look, let's make the best out of this because it's got to come to an end. So many people I know that was getting them coins during pandemic is down bad now. It's a lot I can say, but people always commenting on being a good father, but I swear I don't feel that way about myself half the time. Yeah, you got to love yourself and feel like that way about yourself, because if you don't feel like it, then ain't nobody else gonna feel like it. But I also feel like too, like, just because we are so used to seeing men walk out of the household, men not be fathers, and so many single mothers out here, right? At the same time, that when we do see a dude being a dad or having his kids, we be like, oh, he's a good father. You don't know this man, but oh, he's this. No, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's a father, even with a mother. Oh, she always got her kids. They look nice. You're supposed to. Like, we give kudos where kudos is due because of the situations and stuff that we're in, but we also have to stop commending people for doing the shit they supposed to do. You 30, 40 something years old. Oh, I got my own place. It's a difference of congratulating somebody because they're able to make a stepping stone. But oh, I got my own place. You should. You're 59 years old. Oh, I got a car. You should. You're an adult, So I definitely feel like, it's okay to congratulate and commend, but we also have to stop really commending people on things that they should already be doing. Imagine if somebody said, oh, you did a good job. You paid your cell phone bill. You paid your mortgage. You paid your rent. Congratulations. No, I'm supposed to. Where else am I going to go? I have to. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, this is what it. Oh, you do a good job with your kids. I should. I'm a mother. Thank you. You think I'm really doing a good job? You want my cash app? Motherfucker, get quiet. Oh, no, I ain't. Well, guess what? If you feel like I'm great, then you should cash at me, because you know what it takes. Or you should say, here go $20. Here, I bought you lunch today. Don't, I'm in that space. Don't tell me that you think I'm good. Show me. You think I'm great? Show me. Order me an ice cream cone or something. You know what I mean? Buy me a soda. I like ginger ale. Ship me a case of ginger ale to the house. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Because sometimes it's like, you don't know what it takes. Oh, you think I'm doing a great job? Guess what? Well, you could call me from time to time and say, hey, I'm just checking in. How you doing? I think that's what we need to do, That's another thing. I thought I was supposed to take care of my kids, but that shows you how many guys don't. And it is. It is so sad. It's sad. But again, like you said with that, when you made that post in the group, as far as before I get out of here, as far as with Erykah Badu's song, and as far as the little thing that I watched with Charleston White, not everybody know how to be a parent, because a lot of us ain't had no fathers, and the fathers we had was some trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got the music to refer to. you know, doing everything. So it's just like we have to, you know, let's normalize just like right now in the times that we're in, we really got to be there for one another. If you can help out, whichever way that may be. You know what I mean? Hey, like I said, everybody don't need a financial thing. Everybody not out here hungry. Some people need just somebody to listen to them. I told you, shoot, I was over here fighting for my life, and I was so glad that I was able to have, you know, God was like allowing me to talk to people to be able to get it out, get it out. One of my homegirls, I was saying the same thing. My homegirl, every day, damn near, just to call it. Look, it's me again. I know you sick of this. That's how I start off. I know you sick of this. She'd be like, you fine. I said, I got something to say. So I had another epiphany. I know she was like, girl, if you call me with one more epiphany, but I had to because I'm a type of person. I gotta talk it through. I gotta work and talk it through. Like I have to work and talk me through whatever I go through. Or whatever it is I'm thinking. You know how sometimes you be like, you know, you need an answer, but if you let somebody talk long enough, they be then washed it out and got the answer themselves. Or you know, it's like you answered your own question. I do that all the time. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call you back because I think I got it. I'm gonna call you back. Then she called back like, hey, I'm like, girl, I'm just trying to figure it out. Well, I thought you had to figure it out. Well, listen, I'm back at. I think I'm trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? It's the things like that. You know, when you are growing and when you want more out of life and when you want better for yourself, it honestly feels like you're on an emotional roller coaster. You be up and down. It'll make you feel like you bipolar, schizophrenic, got multiple identities. Like these are the things that comes with changing and growing because it's like, okay, one day you find it, other day it's like, well, I don't know. But then somebody had to remind me today, you know, not today, but remind me a few days ago, like, yo, you gotta give yourself some grace. I said, I don't know how to do that. What's that? I gotta research that. Because grace is not mine to give, but I do gotta cut myself some slack. So I gotta research that. Thank you for bringing that there. Give myself some grace. I can give myself some grace for 2 minutes and then be back saying, well, you got to go do this. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. My father was absolute trash, but I seen that he chose to be the total opposite because I didn't like the way that made me feel as a child. Yeah. And that's the thing. When you see how your parents are treated or when you have something, when you lack something, you get to see what that is. You know what I mean? Minus 80 and 40. Correct. So it's things like that. You know what I mean? It'll either make you or break you. And then sometimes we try so hard to be the opposite, you know, and we mess it up. Like case in point, before I go, you know, we got Krishan. We're gonna get on her in a minute. But she's been quiet, but I'm loving everything she's doing. But look at her, she comes from 2 addicts. So the fact that she going through all that stuff with Blueface, or she chose to go through all that stuff, that's no surprise. We don't know what she saw. It was 12 of them, 11 or 12 of them. You don't know what she saw. You know, them kids probably was kids touching each other. You don't know what she saw, what they experienced. She said she watched her father beat him up. He did this. He's tied in the wood. You know, as a kid, that stuff get put it in your mind, get down in your subconscious. So you grow up and you attract and you loving a nigga that's doing you foul. Blueface then beat her up for her. She cut her wrist, wrote her name in blood on the mirror. You know, all of that. And everybody judging her, instead of saying, like, yo, that's what she saw. That's where she come from. Try help her. Pray for her. Do all this, you know. Now she doing a little better. She getting herself together. She moved herself out of the environment. People got something to say about that. People gonna have something to say anyway. You know how many Christians it is that's quiet that we don't get to see? Yeah. Right. People gotta chill on Christian. There's a lot of Christians over here. Right. I used to be Christian at one point behind my baby's daddy. You know how it is, how people feel about their baby's daddy. But now I ain't talking about everybody with their baby's daddy. It's like, well, you just laid down, you met this man yesterday and you hit his baby. I was talking about when you were like in a full-blown relationship with your baby's daddy and y'all done did some things. Like, I spent 17 years with mine. So it's just like, and I'll tell you, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I was in a coma. And I'd be the first one to tell you that I wouldn't dare go back to that man. He married now, but shit, I'd be like, damn, how that happened? It must be something got to be there because that nigga right there, who committed to you? You know, it's one of those things where it's like, whoo, like, whoo, you did that, whoo. And, you know, sometimes you see people with your accents and be like, you got to, what's wrong with you? 17 years is a life sentence. Baby, listen. You know what I mean? And sometimes we go through things and it's to wake us up. And that was one of the things that got, you know, like I say, you know, God answers us in 3 ways. Yes, no, and if you insist. And I insisted on staying with that man. And I went through hell and lost everything. Lost everything. Because I was insisting on not getting away from something that wasn't there. All because I too wanted my kid to have a father. Wanted my kid to grow up in a 2-parent household. But then it had kind of got to a point like, well, what's the point of the 2-parent household? The 2-parent household is fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of the 2-parent? So I'm supposed to suffer. Yeah, go being black, like y'all say. I dropped the S off for suppose. I'm supposed to suffer for you, and you gonna grow up and do what you want to do. Yeah, you got to be shitting me. Yeah, but I didn't know that then. I was a teenager. I didn't know no better. Or should I say, better ain't no me. Okay. So it's one of those things where it's just like, we definitely have to get it together. You know, so we had to learn. And ultimately, too, people, I believe that there are a lot of great people out here. There are a lot of people who do good. There are a lot of people who want to do better. There are a lot of people that, and sometimes you don't have to take yourself through bull crap just to stay into a relationship, because I seen that too, which also somebody was talking about that. There was sometimes, you know, I feel like the dating culture and everything out here would be better and things like that if we had a standard, you know, like we had requirements. And I believe that that's the difference between today's society and back in the day society. See, you always want to have those people who are in the gutter that you just cannot get out the gutter. They're going to be where they are. You know what I mean? That's where they are. That's where they're going to be. But for the people who are not, right? You have to have a standard. Even back in the day, people had a standard. Back in the day, men took pride on being able to take care of their family, being the provider. You had some who in the gutter, oh, well, if I'm paying the bills, I got 55 women, I got 25 outside families. We ain't talking about them. I feel like we talk about them too much, you know, but the ones who really took pride in being there, took pride in, yo, I ain't messing around on my lady. I don't give a damn how cute big booty Brenda at the office look. She ain't Mona Nika. You know what I mean? And that goes to that beginning of what we talked about with that discipline. You know, that self-discipline, or with as I never said, that flesh and all of that. Like, yo, back then people stood on something. Back then, some men who you could, just like you got the men who on the streets. You'll have a man that his hoe can do anything, but his main lady can't do nothing. She got to sit proper. You know what I mean? She can't smoke no cigarettes. She might not can curse. She might not can drink. You know, it's like they want their homes, like just like back in the day, all the big time, you know, dope boys and all of that. They used to put money and invest in their main thing. Help their main thing, pay for them to go to school, finish school. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Finish school, take care of the kids, do all of this, put them up. Put them like there was a standard of something, even though maybe the lifestyle may not always been right, but people had some form of a standard. It used to be guys where it was like, yo, I can't be with you or fuck with you and try to even marry you or be in a relationship with you if you don't got your high school diploma. You know, GED is good. Good enough diploma. That's what I say about GED. That's good, no shining. But you know what I mean? We had requirements. There were requirements where it was like, you had to be at a certain point to even talk to some people, or even to be able to be approachable. Like We will be down bad, down and out, and be out messing with people or dealing with people and being in relationships. And yo, we ain't got no business being in no relationship. I'm trying to get my car fixed. I'm trying to raise my credit. I'm trying to get out of debt. Right now, I don't have no money for no extracurricular activities. Everything got to be focused on the house. I cannot date you right now. But when you are trying to fill a void and get away from what we normally do, what we do, we out here, everybody. You in and out of everybody's bed. You spending money reckless. You just there trying to get by. These are the things that we do. Sometimes it was a point of a standard. When we would grieve and go through things, whether we lost a boyfriend, family member stuff, we would grieve in private. You know what it is? Now we got it where people was grieving publicly, where they twerking on the internet, smoking weed, showing that you're just reckless. Although you are going through that process, of course, it's a process. But it's just like we don't have a standard. It's no more, the lady that cover herself up, or the only time you may be a little revealing, even to a degree, is when you with your man. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. You gonna look at whoever y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna look at whoever y'all looking at on the internet, right? But this is just how the things and the times and the morals have changed. And I'm so glad I'm in a better space, y'all, because I had to fight to get here. But I'm so glad I'm in such a better space, because it is like, the reason why we get mistreated so much, and the reason why we accept everything and we fall for anything, is because we're not being in relationships and we're not meeting people where we can be our true, authentic selves. We're meeting people with lies. You know what I mean? Like, we're lying to get things because ultimately we don't feel like somebody would accept us that they knew us all. And what we talked about earlier, our parents are the first ones to teach us rejection, to teach us and show us, oh, well, you're not a good kid if you didn't do this. Oh, you gotta be a good boy or good girl and finish all your broccoli. Like, they taught us how to be freaking manipulative. Like, so out of everything I've done throughout the whole first grade, sixth grade, fifth grade, you mean to tell me I'm always on honor roll, but if I don't eat these string beans for you, I am not being obedient. You know what I mean? We use things and we take tools and we use it to get people to bend and do what we want. But ultimately, it's like, we have to start setting the standard. We have to start setting some standards. We had to start setting some standards, like certain things you could do. I remember back in the day, still to this day, but like I got pregnant as a teenager, right? So it was like, oh, of course, back in the day, now with the whole laws and stuff. Oh, he shouldn't have been talking to you. Well, that's another story for another day. But the point of the matter is, I was a teenager and I ain't talked to no dude that didn't have a car. And this is a teenager. Some things just get into you, right? I couldn't talk to you if you didn't have a car. You couldn't talk to me if I didn't have a car. I met my daughter's father. He had like 3 of them, right? So it was like you had to have something that I didn't have, because I have to be able to learn and learn from you, right? You have to be able to teach me something. Who wants to be with a know-it-all, right? But it's like, even as a teenager, I had a standard. I feel like we have standards. Just like you may want your lady to wear her natural hair and be what it is, but you out here tricking off with a chick that looks completely opposite. But you want the thing that's on your arm to be a certain way. And then you have some people who just like to show off everything. They want that woman to be out here with her ass hanging out. He gonna be draped up in Gucci and gold and y'all just flashy together. But I can guarantee you that somewhere in that whole situation, he ain't right. And it doesn't mean that he's stepping out, but I'm just saying, like, is he praying? Are they praying together? When they're having issues and they can't communicate, are we praying together? Are we trying to figure it out? Or are we going to the next person that's going to listen? The next thing you know, you done slipped up on some coochie and you done fell on an alligator tail. knowing that this is not really where you want to be, but we lead with our emotions. Like we have to begin to start doing better and stop blaming it on our past and things like that. But that's why I always say too, like with the friends and things that I used to have and all that other stuff, I'm like, damn, you know, I wish sometimes people just can't see that we're broken. And another thing that I hate that we always say, well, they say people hurt the closest people to them. We take it out on the closest people that love us. Yeah, but that's because that's a clear indication that you don't even know what love is, and you don't even know it. Like you could be so wise and so smart in so many areas, but you so dumb that you can't even recognize when you got somebody that really care about you. So to prove that, right? Because we all have our daddy issues, our mommy issues. You taking this nigga or you taking this girl through the mud. You taking her through the ringer. You taking her through the ringer. Or you get with it and we put children in people. If we keep putting babies and bringing kids into situations that we like, not that we love, but that we like. I like you, get you caught up. But could you just imagine? And that's why I say I really do. I think that we have to get some standards. When they say, oh, men make the world crazy or women fuck the world up. No, motherfucker, sometimes you just in the wrong pool. I can honestly say I know I was delivered at some of the wrong addresses. I didn't know that at first though. But then you have to do that work on yourself and really just understand like who you are, who God put you here to be. And sometimes we hold on to things. We hold on to things. I was just having this conversation earlier. Like sometimes we are where we are because we're holding on to the wrong things and the wrong people. Like people can hinder and people can hold up your blessings too. But even if the people are hindering and holding up your blessings, you are the one that's holding it up the most because you can make the choice to remove yourself from that. And then the people who people hang around and things like that tell you a lot about them too. Oh, my baby for the homeboys was off the chain. And my baby for back then ain't had not faithful homeboy. And I'm saying because I saw too much. I was out of line for thinking that nigga was faithful to me or could even be. But I didn't know any better. What I say? Better ain't no me. You know damn well you shouldn't have no baby with that girl. When you met that girl was outside. She liked being outside. She stay outside. All she do is be outside. On the weekend, she outside, all this. And now you mad because every time the weekend come, she want to give you the baby or the baby at your grandmother's house or this. But you knew she was an outsider before you even put a baby in her. So I think sometimes we allow the things that we see when we should have causes to pauses. You see, causes to pauses. We don't do it. And something else that is a little difficult to do is loving somebody. And a lot of times we get in situations and loving, when you love from survival, from a surviving standpoint, baby, you will accept and put up with a lot. You will put up with a lot. But when you start loving from where it's like, yo, I love you. I care. Because I say it all the time. People take things, we take care of things that we care about, correct? Right? You got shoes. If you're a sneakerhead, you're going to take care of your tennis shoes, right? You might go as slow as cleaning them when you wipe them off. I mean, we seen paid in full. Mitch took care of his tennis. He even told his little brother, you got to take care of your shoes, right? You might have a car. Your car could be spotless. Your house could be spotless, right? When you have something that you care about, we take care of it, right? So why, if we meet people or we get into relationships or we have friendships, why aren't we taking care of what we care about? Woo! I feel like that was a lot. Because if I'm with you and you're with me, and you care about me and I care about you, shouldn't you take care of me? And it's not even a money thing. It's like, handle me with care. I'm going to handle you with care. That's why a lot of the times you see us as women, when we're in things and we stay and we deal with things that we really shouldn't, or we'll gamble. We'll take a risk with people knowing like we don't know how it's going to be, what it's going to be. And instead of, for the most part of you saying like, I would say like a learned behavior, right? Oh, well, she insecure or this, what we say, 17 years, right? My baby father was a doll. I never not once said that I don't have trust issues. Me and my friend was just talking about this the other day. We was cracking up. I'm like, yo, I never said that. I never said, because we talked about like long distance relationships and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, I don't think I could do a long distance relationship. Not because I don't trust my person, right? But because shit, I know me. And the way, although I know that you aren't him, right? You you aren't him, right? And you ain't give me no inclinations that you are him, but because of my history, because of my trauma, I may not trust you doing that. And instead of, if I'm asking you questions like, well, where you at? Well, what happened? Just talking to you, are you going to get defensive? Or are you going to be able to talk to me? And we can talk. And then there's that where it's like, listen, yo, you already know that I dealt with a cheater. This motherfucker did X, Y, and Z, told me they was here, there, this, and the third. And no, you are not them. But I'm telling you right now, and I'm being a little triggered. Are you going to work with me through my trigger? Or are you going to isolate me and shut me out? And I think that it's very rare to find someone where you can really be open and be that vulnerable and know that they're not going to judge you for it. They're not going to turn their backs on you. But the issue, like you just said, CJ, some people don't appreciate you taking care of them. Right. But that's why I said we got to set the standards, because then when you aren't appreciating me taking care, I got to take care of me most. So we got to do what? Which is usually the hardest thing. We got to walk away. So you got to start walking away maybe a little differently. You got to put things into place. I know I went through some things and I was like I shared, and I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't figure out what was going on at one point, right? But I knew, I was like, God, help me to forgive them for not being who I wanted them to be. Because I ain't want to walk away with bitterness. I ain't want to see you and don't speak to you. I ain't want to hear something happen to you and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't fuck with y'all. I ain't friends with her. It's not even that. It's just like when you want different, you show up and you do different. And in order to be something different and someone different, you have to become someone different. Because if we look at it, whatever you may believe in, but like God, Jesus went through some things, you know what I mean? But even with everything, Jesus could have snapped his fingers and destroyed everybody who was trying to kill him that day. And even he didn't exercise his power. That is a bad mama jamma right there, okay? I had a conversation with someone and they were like, listen, I was married to my husband and he messed around on me and I left. And I was like, you didn't stay? You didn't try to work it out? And she said, no, because they had been together for some years. She said, he knew cheating was my deal breaker because he knew what my previous relationship did. So he had already knew that this was a no-go for me. And she said, did I cry? Absolutely. Did it hurt? Absolutely. And I had 4 kids with this man. She said, and I left him and never went back. I was like, yo. So when I think about the different things that are stuff in the relationships is too, a lot of times we put up with so many things because we don't know our own worth, right? But we often don't meet people who are willing to go with us and go with us as we grow. But then some people come around for a lifetime of reason in the season. Some people come to teach you something, some people don't, but at the same time, right, we have to be able to maneuver and know the difference. And the thing is, we don't really know the difference because of what we talked about earlier, all that jacked up history and things like that, like our experiences. Our parents are supposed to love us and nurture us. You have parents who are out here abusing their children, molesting their children, talking to their children in any kind of way, not even paying any attention to their children at all. That causes isolation, separation. You know what I mean? The minute you see somebody that's showing you that they care, you rejecting it because your mother or your father was supposed to care and they treated you like shit. But it's like you have to be patient. But I do believe you get better with it and better with recognizing it when you are doing the work on you. I'm a talker. We got to talk about the problem because I got to be able to process what happened and have an understanding. Because for me, talking about it, whether it's over and over and over, whatever, it's healing for me. Like sometimes we be in situations with friends and family or our partners with people who don't even know us or understand us or know how we heal. So it's just like we take care of things that we care about. We take care of our purses, our shoes, our labels. We have men and women too. Like men are more loyal to their homeboys than they fucking house. I could talk to my mans about anything, but you can't talk to your woman about nothing? Or can you not talk to her about nothing? Is it you can't talk to her about nothing, or you don't know how to communicate what you're going to say because she not going to let you just hoodwink her with some bull crap? Are you starting off before you had a conversation? How often do we be like, are you praying saying, God, give me the words, guide me and show me what to be able to say and how to be able to have this conversation with him or with her and be present so that I don't say anything wrong so I can express myself? Come on now. We ain't doing that before conversations, my nigga. You know what I mean? I'm saying a whole lot more than what you're coming at because it's the truth. Like when we move differently and we do different, we do different. Like my cousin used to always tell me, if you want something different, when you want different results, you gotta do something different. You want different results, you gotta do something different. In order to get different results, you gotta do something different. And guess what? The result may be where though y'all may be beefing or something may happen or somebody may feel like they don't even want to be with you or talk to you, want you in their life no more. Like, and then it's like, okay, well, you know what? It was fun while I lasted. Or hasta luego. You know, is it going to hurt? Is it going to suck? Absolutely. But it's like when we know we dope and you know who you are, you know what you bring to the table. You remember when the conversations where everybody was getting mad because people were saying they were table? Y'all remember when they used to chew my head off because I used to be like, I'm the table. And now, oh no, you're not. You can't be the table. If you're the table, then how are you this? And then it's like, I am the table. Well, why are you the table? Guess what? Because when I got my head on straight, we are good. If I'm good, you're good. I'm going to pray for you. You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't praying for their partners. A lot of people are praying, oh, let them come back and do all this. This was the prayers I used to pray for years back in the day. Oh Lord, please bring them back, fix the relationship. You know, but I wasn't praying. I ain't praying not one time for that nigga's soul. Come to think about it. But I ain't know no better and I wasn't in that space. But I'm going to pray for you. You know, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to be this space for you. I'll be there for you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here just doing wrong. I have some morals, some principles, and some character. You know, I do know when to shut up if, you know, I'm being led properly, but I'm not about to let you lead me to hell. We ain't doing that. You know what I mean? But a lot of the issues come in the tug and war in the relationships a lot of times because, we forget that as us, as women, as Black women and as Black men, like, we are rarely able to just simply, as they want to say, be soft. It's very rare that we're able to, what I've learned recently in conversations is just be a woman. I got to know how to hang a curtain, change a tire, put brakes on, unclog a toilet, be a mother. I can't just be cute, dainty, and pretty and do all this. Nigga, I'm still taking a trash out. You know what I'm saying? And even as a man, Even as a man, it's hard for some men to be able to just leave because look like I'm getting a temptation. I don't know how to communicate. I might have my mommy issues. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a good example and role model of what a man is or how a man should be. I'm going to my homeboys for advice because a lot of us ain't got no fathers to go to. And if we do got fathers, we done seen our father. Our daddy's got kids here and there. My father done did some shit. He ain't instilled the best in me. So I'm showing up in this relationship and I'm showing up in this house and I'm showing up in this space and I'm just going off of everything that I'm doing because it looks like a man. Well, my father made sure the bills was paid. My father made sure we had food and clothes in our bags. I ain't never seen my mother struggle and want for nothing. So now here he is. It's like, oh, well, I'm being this man and I'm doing this because I'm making sure that my woman don't have to worry about these things. But it's like, but that's not making you a man though. Are you able to be a man and show up in your emotion? Express yourself. Yo, I had a hard day. You know, you got to be able to, black men, we got to be able to be, y'all got to be able to be soft too. You know, you got to be able to know when to be soft. You got to be able to know, yo, yeah, I might leave, but baby, I got to go consult with my girl because I know she going to steer me right. Babe, you need to get away from them niggas. No, that's my man. They my something ain't right about y'all. Yo, cool, but just something ain't right. No, that's my man. Next thing you know, that motherfucker that backstabbed you, and you will not say, you know, you was right, Sheila. Because sometimes it's not always about being right. Like even with my daughter, when she do things and things occur, she comes to me like, you was right. I should have listened. I don't be like, I told you so. I just be like, well, you know, you had to find out. Sometimes we don't always gotta be like, yeah, I was right. Or yeah, I told you. Well, it don't always have to be that. And then the other thing too, even with men, like we can't get into arguments with each other and then you throwing up my dirt. You as far as like my demons and my shortcomings, and I'm throwing up yours. Oh, well, nigga, you out here tough, but you was just crying last night. No, like we get into situations and we deal with people, and of course you think that you want to be able to lean on this person and lean on these people. And then you like, yo, you throwing up everything I said in my face. And sometimes it's like, yo, are they really throwing it up in your face, or are they using it as a talking point to try to get you to see something? So, you know, we have to step out of emotion and step out of ego. But again, we get into a relationship and you thinking that this woman automatically know how to be a woman because she a woman. And you trying to figure out why she rah all day, nigga, because she gotta be rah all day because she gotta take care of these kids. She gotta do this because guess what? You can leave on the next train smoking because a lot of them lack discipline. You're gonna go put your shit in somebody else. You can go lay down and have a baby. You know, you'll take me and make me get rid of all my kids, but your side bitch can get pregnant. She can have all them babies, but you can't control her. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. It's like, yo, we have to start having some standards. Like, yeah, you cool. It might be cool to talk to you right now, but hey, let's try to do this. Let's bring God into the situation. I was just talking to this lady, and her husband was just celebrating like their 40. They were just celebrating their 45th anniversary, and I said to her, "How did you do it?" Now she did say some things that was like, "Oh, girl, you crazy," but she said, how do what? I said, how did y'all stay married for 45 years? You never, he never. And she said, because we kept God first in our marriage. And you know how you hear people say that, and it's like, here we go. You know, it's almost like when you go to your mother, like, Mom, he hurt me. And she like, go pray about it. And you're like, I don't want to hear that. Like, really? She was like, really? We went through some things. It took some things. He had to figure out his way. I had to figure out my way. She said, but sometimes you got to understand that it ain't always about, sometimes you agree to disagree, but it ain't always about being right. And it ain't always about trying to have the last word. She was like, and you gotta keep God first and understand, like, the person you are with is not your enemy. I was like, oh, okay. Noted. So it's like, I think we should start picking people and say, could I do life with this person? If I lost everything I had, would they still want me the same? Would they love me the same? Would they still be there? I think a lot of the issues is we don't know each other's character. And a character, knowing somebody, knowing someone's character is completely different. I can't stand for a person not to know my character. Nobody should be able to tell you anything about me. And you be like, oh yeah. Now once upon a time, yeah, because it's like, yeah, she was on the chain. But now, like the woman that I've grown to be, and I continue to grow to be. A minute. There's no way that. But I see people say, "Oh well, I'm a bad bitch. I'm a this. I'm that." And I tell people all the time, and I just be listening, and I'm like, a lot of y'all bad bitches till that nigga decide he don't want to be with you no more. Then you broken, busted, and disgusted. You can't eat, can't sleep. Of course, you go through the emotions, but at the same time, you feel like that it's nobody else there. You know what I mean? So it's just like, no, what is a bad bitch? A bad bitch know who she is, even if you there, you not. You know what I mean? A bad bitch, she a prayer warrior. What's your biggest fear? You just reminded me of one of my biggest fears too. And you guys had me on here for 2 hours. I was supposed to get off at 10. I'm hungry. What's your biggest fear before we get out of here? But it's like, nah, a bad bitch is somebody who prays. Okay, I would say that. Who knows she is, who has some standards, who's not falling for any and everything just because it's there. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot of work to understand yourself and get to know yourself and who you are, And I fight for it every day. Like I said, I'll tell you all about that another day. Like I said, I was just in a space where I've really been fighting and getting my way out of it. But yesterday I took a stance and was like, God, it's me and you. What we doing? Because I keep trying to do this and it ain't working. I don't know what it is. This is this. What we doing? That's why I say, it's so scary. When you can't control and don't know how things are gonna be. But at the same time, right? Ultimately, you just have to want to be better. But we really need to bring standards back. We need to really bring standards back. We need to stop taking any and everybody around our family. At least back in the day or something like that, your father ain't take you around another woman. If him and your mama was done, and they had like totally moved on, we ain't talking about the gutter people though. We talking about the people with the men who move with precision and intention. You ain't meet every woman that they had, but the one that he got serious with, the one that he probably married, that's the one you met. We gotta stop giving people so much access. Well, I used to say playing house. We gotta stop that. We gotta stop it. I would hate to get with someone that won't be there the same exact way that I would for them. Like if I get disabled and she leaves me. Yeah, definitely. Because sometimes, we don't know. And then, like I said, sometimes time is up. You know what I mean? But I really think like it's really difficult for us to, because of all the history and the things that we've been through and experienced, sometimes it would be so hard for us. That's why I think that saying comes in. You can have a good thing standing in your face and you wouldn't even know what to do with it. You can have a good thing standing in your face and you wouldn't even know how it was. I mean, my friend, we always talking, she be like, yo, a nigga going roll the dice every time. He can have a good wife, kids, home, family, business, all this. That one day, that one time things ain't right or they ain't seeing eye to eye, that nigga going roll the dice and go fuck with somebody else. And risk it all. So that's why I says, even the Bible says, You do not feed into your temptation. You shouldn't be tempted. I remember where it was sometimes I noticed I was doing differently because I would be tempted about different things and wanting to do stuff. And I had to pray, like, Lord, get this stuff out of me. And I'm here to tell you, like, yo, he would shift my whole mindset. I wouldn't even think about it no more. You know what I mean? And sometimes I had to pray and ask for the same thing, like, get this stuff out my mind, like, get this stuff out my heart. And it happens sometimes, and I really got it done. Like, he really did it. He really did it. So it's just like, yo, there are attractive people out here. But sometimes when you go to compare the people to whoever it is you're with, for whether it's a moment of satisfaction, we all like that microwave stuff. Listen, it's like a broom, right? You can have a broom and the broom is so raggedy, right? And you like, I need this new broom. Y'all know? You get this broom and you sweep it. And you go get a new broom. Then you get mad that the new broom is it broom or broom? You know how we got that accent. The new broom isn't even maneuvering. You like, it ain't even getting there. Sometimes you don't go get a new broom. You stick with the old one because guess what? The old one know how to get up in the corners and know where the dirt at. You understand? Sometimes it ain't always, you feel me? Like the new broom is cute and it's cool. But that old broom know how to get right up in that corner the right way, no matter how many times you put it in there and get that little crumb or that little piece of paper out. Yeah, sometimes you get tired of eating chicken and sometimes you might want a piece of steak. But goddamn, if you don't eat red meat, nigga, you don't eat red meat. You better stick with the chicken. Now you done got some red meat. Now you're constipated and all that. So, sometimes, the answer is not always get a new person. I think what happens is we give up on good people too soon and hold on to the wrong ones for too long. Woo! I think I just said something. We give up on the good ones too soon and hold on to the wrong ones for too long. I don't know what to do after that. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get up out of here because I don't know what to do after that. I don't know what to do after that. Like, I just feel like that's the thing. I know how I come and what I bring as a real person. And I'd hate to get deep with someone and find out they really ain't that. I think I've accepted staying single. Well, that is a poor divorce. That sucks to be you. Why stay and accept that you're going to stay single instead of bettering yourself? Because why? Be the energy you want to attract. We are who we attract. Sometimes we just go around collecting and attracting broken pieces of ourselves because we're broken. And it's trying to show you something. If you keep getting the same thing over and over again, hello, that is a test. Hello. If it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. Aflac. And I think, but I understand that because I remember, like, I thought that, like, once I had got my heart broken before, I was like, oh, I'm never going to love again. Da, 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 da. But then I remember having a conversation with my cousin, and then we were talking, and it was like, yeah. And then I got to the point where it was like, that sucks. Why would you allow what one person robbed you of, which they didn't put a gun to your head to keep you there? Why would that make you not want to experience all the other people that's in the world? All these people in the world, and we always act like it's just that one. And if you want it, you want to treat it right. But it's just like, yo, don't allow that one bad person to spoil the whole bunch, my nigga. Like, no, yo, don't do that. Especially if you know who you are and what you're put here to do. And if you have something to give. I said it. Sometimes we just be at the wrong doorsteps. But we got to learn, and he will put the right people in the position at the right time. And then also too, is like, could you even recognize a good thing if you had it? Like, you know what, this motherfucker, they did X, Y, and Z. They may do this, they may do that, but yo, he a good dude though. At the end of the day, He rocks with me. He loves me. She loved me. Like it's very rare. It's not too many people that can really sit up here and we can say, yo, I know one thing, this person really loves me. Not because of how I treated them, not because of the things they accepted, not because of the things they tolerated, but yo, they really loved me. And oftentimes, we have that recollection. You know what they say after breakups and things like that, women heal and men don't. They just go from person to person, right? What a woman is healing, trying to find herself. A nigga going through what they say, go get under somebody new. Women do it too. But at the end of the day, you have so many men, even with people who talk to me, sometimes they be like, yo, such and such she was a good one. I messed that up. She was a good one. It's like as time go on, you realize like it wasn't that bad. It was just me. I wasn't ready, While I am bettering myself, I'm also at the same time learning to accept the possibility of not having nobody. But that is true too. It's okay to be single. Like single isn't a dirty word, right? Some people can't. Yeah, like single isn't a dirty word. Some people can't. What, Andre? Look, I say yeah. Like which one? Because like we said, it's always gonna be some people in the gutter. But when you get disciplined, like how we be like, oh yeah, he bad, she done been with this person, or he can get anybody. Yo, we out here wanting to be looked at like kings and queens and all that. I seen that the other day, kings and queens. But how you want to be looked at in this high stature and everybody in their mother can get in your bed? My one friend, wherever we go out, I laugh at her because like if a dude be coming over there trying to talk and they be like, yeah, this and the third. She say all the time, she be like, niggas is easy. A nigga is the easiest thing to get. She said, y'all easy. I be laughing at her. She be like, yo, she telling you easy. Y'all are easy. And it sucks. But some of y'all are easy. Cause y'all laying around and getting in anything. It don't take much. Y'all don't care if a bitch, you don't give a fuck. It don't take, because what we talk about, the standard. People have lost the standard. So I be laughing at her like that. Like, she be like, a nigga is easy to get. They be out here in everybody's bed. And nobody wants to pass around. Although that is a good song. Bia got a song said these niggas like blunts get passed around. Plaster around, passed around. Hoes wanna have fun, nigga, pass around. That's a cute little song. I've been through a lot of stuff a few times in a few different ways. And I'm is tired. Yeah. Oh yeah, recognize when they have a good person. No. But then that's why you pray and you ask God about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just think that, you don't let everybody go. I don't think everybody is meant to be let go. I believe that some people are not right now. With, oh, you know what? Not right now. This may not be a good thing right now. But we think, because we have that rejection stuff like from childhood and all that, we think that somebody saying no or not right now is them saying, we internalize that as, hey, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough to love. I'm not worthy of you being here. Damn, I'm not lovable. You don't want me no more. Like it do a lot. It does a lot. It does a lot to you. That's why you gotta have grace. We gotta take patience, and we have to be kind. And just be there for one another, and just be better. You can't be perfect. Be with people. Challenge yourself. Grow, yo. If we not growing, we dying. If we're not growing, we're dying. Sorry, responding to a message. And we have to do that. Don't get me wrong, I'm good with being single because I know I'm not the man I need to be in a few areas. And that's not fair to whoever I call myself trying to get with. Okay, you see right there. But see, at least you recognize that. You know, you have people who will go ahead and still do something and be exactly where you are. And like, nigga, you know you ain't no good. You know you're not there, or you know you're not in that space. It's like, yo, if you're not ready, leave it alone. Because at the end of the day, y'all, we getting older. If we, like I was telling my friend, they be like, oh, such. I'm like, look, I done did enough hanky panky for everybody. You know, like I done been there. I done been outside. I done did this. Like my wants, my needs, and what I want change. My daughter is in her early 20s and she still go through some things in her relationship as she should, you know, when she meet people and things like that, because she's younger, she's growing. My nigga, I'm not about to be damn near 100 years old dealing with the same stuff as my kid. Remember I used to tell y'all that when she was a teenager? I'm not dealing with the same stuff that my teenager dealt with. At this big grown age, yo, I feel like we should no longer even be dealing with infidelity. Like we should be at the point where we're able to say, hey, you know what? I love you. I want to be with you. But you know what? Right now, I am not in a space where I think I can be committed or monogamous. You know what I mean? I am not in a space where I even want to. I do want you, but I don't think I can do it. Like, I don't think I want to do that. Sometimes you gotta let people go and find out that it ain't nothing out here. But at the same time, the flip side to that as well is that don't mean they stop and then they not living and they waiting for you. Because you may move along because you trying to figure it out, and God gonna send in Mr. Right who got it together, or she got herself together. She's there. Even with that, with you wanting to be left alone and stuff and be single and stuff like that, you never know. God may also send you somebody that'll be there with you to maneuver and help you through that too, CJ. Like, yeah, no, he ain't all the way together, but guess what? I'm gonna send you somebody that's not gonna care that you're all the way together, because she too is there and she's able to be that woman to be supportive and to bring out the best in you, to push you to your greatest potential. You know? So it can go either way. It all depends on what it is. But I understand that though. If you're not where you are and it's like, yo, I'm not focused on dating nobody. I'm not even where I want to be. I know for me, like if I'm trying to get myself together, a nigga is the last thing I'm thinking about. Being laid up and on my phone. Because why am I laid up with you when I got these bills or things that need to be paid or something? Or, you know, you didn't even ask me how my day was. Or I just now lost my mind 5 minutes ago. I cannot. Like right now, my life is as the world turns. And you want me to do what? Spend the night? No, nigga, I got my own house. You know, so it becomes things like that. You know, people just don't want to be for real with themselves because it's too much work. It is. But what I've been seeing on, like, it is a lot of people that are also out here though really doing the work on themselves. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to it, if you've seen it before I get out of here. There's a lot of people out here that are really working on themselves. Like they're really working on themselves and they're actively doing it and they're taking actions to do it. For real. My brother told me that before. He said, I never knew what good God might do. You don't know. You don't know. But that's why, too, sometimes it's like, do we ask? Did you ask him? Because he going to tell you. He just going to answer you when he want to answer you. And sometimes he answers you right away. That's why I was in here, y'all. I ain't going to lie. I woke up today. You know, y'all, we together. We family. I'm going to tell y'all. I woke up in here today and I was like, listen, I just paid every single bill. Right. And anytime my daughter get to talking and shit, she, you know, your kids give you $5. They feel like, listen, we ain't, you know, $5 all I got. I said, I pay every single bill. And this is how I know that my prayer has been working and that I've gotten out of this space, y'all. I was stuck in the space here recently for a few weeks, right? Because y'all know my income shifted. You know, a bitch went from making damn near 70 grand a year to $25 a day. You know what I mean? But it's okay. And I was like, y'all know Xavier moved to Texas. And he moved to Texas. And so he finally gets off my phone plan. But that's another story. And so I got up early this morning trying to take care of that business for him, right? And I said to him, and I said here, and I paid every bill. Yo, I ain't lying. I had $67 left after paying every bill. Now, a few weeks ago, that would have added on to my tizzy. Like, this is some shit. You know what I mean? But as I'm on the phone with the man on the phone and Xavier's on the phone, it was like after that I had like this huge burst of energy because I had prayed and all that, right? Had this huge burst of energy and doing all this stuff. And I'm like, because I had food in here because my homegirl cooked this food, right? I made a turkey and she cooked it and she did all these different things with it. So she gave it to me. I cooked it and she made all this different stuff with it and said, here, take this. I want you to have this for the week and all of this, right? And like, God will really take care of you. And I was on the phone and I said, and all I could do before I got ready to do what I needed to do this morning is I became so overjoyed because I said, God, thank you. Because at the end of the day, it's somebody out here who don't have anything to be able to pay anything. Don't have anything to be able to pay anything. And I had to be so appreciative. And I was able, like, even sitting here talking to y'all about it, like, it's really like I'm tingling because it's the truth. Like, I was like, yeah, somebody don't have it to pay nothing. And I just say he had to pay every bill, my nigga, like, until another check come. And I said, well, I do have somewhere to go this weekend. But at the same time, right, that ain't the point. I'm just like, because I know the conversation that I had with him the other day. And I'm like, despite how it looks, I'm going to trust that it's not going to be like this. Because it just was not like this. And then I had to start giving myself some grace because, my life was great the last, it's still great. But like those last 3-4 years, my shit was booming. I didn't have any financial issues. I had went from having financial issues, from losing my job, to getting back stable, to now I say I'm just going to throw all into my business. Now I'm relying on other people's pockets, right? Then I told you I wanted to buy a house. So now I had to go get me like a little part-time job or something to make up. But I'm like, and I don't like it. But I said, I'm going to trust you. What is it that you want me to learn? What did you want me to do? What is it you're trying to show me? But I know it's not going to be like this. It can't be like this forever. It can't be. So it's just one of those things where, we have to be appreciative and be grateful for what it is that we're doing and for what we already have. And we can lose sight of that. No matter where you are, we can lose sight of that. Like every time you wake up, you get the opportunity to get another day. You get the opportunity to try it and do it right. And you get the opportunity to do it. I was just like, I don't want to do this shit no more. Like maybe I'm supposed to just go get me a job and just do this. And this is what life is going to be. Right? And I've been having to push through this. At the same time, raise my kid, right? Deal with her and what she goes through. And I'm like, and the one person that used to help me stay sane is gone. Like the voice of reason is gone, right? But then I had to realize, no, you got to get it together. There are people around you that will let you know. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to have these conversations over the last couple of days where I was able to get out of it. But you got to fight. I had to fight to get out of that. Yes, trust the process. And then I had to be real though. And I said, I'm like, God, I keep asking you what you want me to do. Show me the way. Tell me what it is you want me to do. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, he done told me 111 times what he wanted me to do. And I said, I ain't doing it. Ooh. And then for whatever reason, here recently, I said, listen, I'm done. What are we doing? Is we keeping the show? We not keeping the show? Is we what we doing? What you want me to do the show? You want me to stop? You want me to continue to do that? What you want to? And he answered me within like the next 5 minutes. Even now, it's being answered. Y'all don't even know that. Like he's using you right now that are tuned in, locked in, looking at me. You are currently being used because I was like, I can't do this. I'm tired. And it wasn't because I don't believe. It wasn't because I gave up on it that way. It was like, yo, I'm tired. I am literally the writer, the producer, the director, and the talent. You know, that's actually some bars in a song of mine. Like, I have to fund all of this stuff. I need a new desk, right? I need a new desk. I have different things I need to do in the studio. And I'm like, Lord, you see what I'm working with. What we doing? So it's just like I had to stop and say, you know what? I'm actually waking up every day living in a prayer. I prayed to have a studio in my house, and I actually have it. And it's like, sometimes we have to get back into focus. So no, CJ, you may not be the best you. You may not have everything to offer to nobody in a relationship right now, but that doesn't mean that you don't have everything equipped in you to be a good friend to somebody. Every time you become a friend with somebody, don't mean you gotta like them, make a move on them, or be with them, or date them. But he's with you enough that he give you a friend, somebody that'll be with you through your process. Somebody that ain't saying, you know what, it is what it is. I ain't rocking with you because you ain't where you supposed to be. You ain't where you want to be. None of us are where we want to be yet. I'm still walking and embracing and growing every day to be who I'm called to be. Like the power is in each and every single one of us. And sometimes we do dim it and we do forget it because life and everything that's around. But no matter how many times the door gets slammed in your face, no matter how many no's, no matter how much, it's like, yo, at some point, are we listening and really being obedient, or are we just moving and doing what we think we need to do? Did we really stop and sit and see what's up? We have to take control of our lives. If you don't like the story, write it differently. You are the main character in your movie. You are the main character in your life. Everybody else is just goddamn extras. You know what I mean? You don't like this person. You don't like how these people are treating you. Write them out. Write them out. You may cry. It may hurt. It may not feel good. Write them out. So it's just like one of those things where, as though sometimes we're in these situations, no matter what your situation is, I was sitting here and I said, and you gotta be careful what you say. Because I'll be like, give me the strength that you gave Daniel in the lion's den. Be with me like you was with Meshach, and Abednego, right in the fiery furnace, trying to burn these people up. You was with Moses, when he did what he did. You with everybody, the wisdom you gave Solomon and all of the Job. Job lost everything. Job was down, defeated, depleted, and he still was like, yo, I'm not giving up on this man. And God restored Job and gave Job everything 10 times over. But it's like, you have to have a different heart and a different mind. And you have to be like, yo, instead of me complaining about my situation, let me feel what it would feel like to be there. And I had to remember and play those conversations that me and my cousin would have when she like, yo, everything is connected to a feeling. You gotta feel it. You gotta wake up already, get up. Like there's a million people waiting for you to sign online. You got to already feel that, abundance and prosperity is not always about money. Yeah, we needed to live. We needed to get through things. But it's like, yo, we got to really understand, like, yo got us. What are you doing? And I had to sit here and remember every time that I was like, yo, I was telling my homegirl today, I said, yo, I remember when them people told me they was going to let me go off my job. I remember, like I said, I remember when they told me I was getting laid off, right? That they was going to lay me off. I said, and I was sitting in that lady office, my heart pounding. She ain't know I'm listening. And she going, but I'm listening. And I was like, okay. For 2.3 seconds, I was like, in my mind, like, shit, how it's about to go. And God showed me, I swear, showed me in my room, in every house I was in, praying, crying, my show, everything, showed me everything and all of that. And was like, I got you. Don't worry about it. Don't panic. Don't go there. I got you. And my heart got excited. Yo, I was calling, telling people, these people let me go like I hit the jackpot. Last year, I was like doing everything, working, doing stuff. I had made so much money from my business last year, and it was like, okay. And I was just like super, super excited. And even in that moment, right, even through everything I was going through now, and it was like, where happened? That person, she's still in there. And it was like, yo, what happened? Because I would wake up and say, I'm going somewhere, I'm doing something. Some of my friends witnessed it. How are we going to do this? We ain't got no money. I said, shit, somebody going to do it. I would get that and we'll get shit for free. Didn't ask. It was just coming. So he's like, yo, I took care of you and I showed you that when they let you go that I had you last year. So what makes you think that I ain't going to have you this year? I had to go, well, damn. And I'm like, but I don't like it. I don't like the feeling. I don't like the emotional. Like, you see what's going on over here, this, that, and the third. Like I said, a lot of it, what I have been dealing with recently, ain't even about, money and nothing. Like, it's personal, like family shit. Like, and I got to see where family and loving on the people that's in your life is so much more important than everything else. Like, yo, I've been around here getting stretched, kicked, beat, trying to figure it out. Like, what is it you want me to do? And he showed me, like, oh, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. I need you to do this. So I said, all right, well, I need you to tell me what it is you want me to do. You telling me that this is what you want me to do. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to talk. And he's just flowing, y'all. And I was supposed to have been off of here. We about to be in here almost going on 3 hours. So it's just something where it's like, yo, we have to want better. I promise, when you want better and when you want more and when something clicks and you're like, yo, it's more to life than this shit right here, you're going to do it and take care and do what you got to do by any means necessary to get it done. It's always you versus you. It's always you versus everybody, So it's just one of those things where it's like, if you have a partner that is able to go through life and get through life with you, yo, that is a blessing. That's a blessing. Especially if you're an entrepreneur. Look, I'm talking for the entrepreneurs now, not the 9 to 5. Because sometimes you need somebody to be like, babe, if you don't get your shit together, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that. And then sometimes you need that. Well, how you feeling? What you need? What can I do? What can I add to it? So it's things like that. Then because you hit it right on the nose, because I have a couple friends that make sure they remind me how much they appreciate the friend I am to them. Yeah. Because it's like the things that we're worried about, yo, everything is like, it don't even matter, yo. It don't even matter. Like, it matters here, but it's like, yo, everything is about your faith. And I said, and I have faith. And I told my homegirl, I said, yo, I have so much faith. It's about being real with yourself. I said, but I know my faith has not reached the peak of I can just do this and be like, cool. Like, I am the most risk-taking person in the world. My nephew has moved to Texas. Do y'all know I have been looking for jobs in Texas? I wanted to even move to Charlotte or Texas or California because I wanted to get away from the rain. Y'all know I don't like the cold and I don't like the rain. But at the same time, I was like, I am the most outgoing person that'll take a risk in a minute. And I was like, and then I found myself started being so cautious and not wanting to do certain things because it's like, money a little tight. Oh, I don't feel like it. Let me just do that. Like, no. And it was like, girl, you were more cautious when you had zero. You were more of a risk taker when you had zero income. How you got a little bit of income and you just stopped being a risk taker? So it's just things like that, right? So I think, you just have a plan, you set it. And things like that. Yes, amen, Andre. So it's just like we have to just figure it out and wean out the dumb stuff and just really get focused on what we want. And when you are tired of being sick and tired, you will do it. I had to wake up and start feeling like I hit the lottery. I'm like, ooh, what would it feel like to hit the lottery? Yo, when we were kids, we were taught to use our imaginations, and life did a number on us, yo, that we no longer even know how to use our imagination. Because then the minute we use our imagination, then we go tell somebody and they throw a dart at it, we let it, distract us and make us feel like we don't want to do it. Feeling like we don't want to do it. When before it's like, no, you got to believe in that. So you got to sit and start dreaming, because if you can see it, you can get it. We have to sit and start dreaming again. Start dreaming again. Write it down and go after it. And I had to remember this recently. What my cousin used to say, girl, God said you asked me for a lot. Some of us, he's saying, listen, you asking me for a lot. Some of us, he like, yo, you got cool with me 30 minutes ago. And now all of a sudden, you want me to give you, 25 golden gooses, a mansion, a Maserati, a marriage, some kids, and $1 billion. You got a lot of nerve around here. You know what I mean? So sometimes we got to look at ourselves like, come on, get it together. It's a relationship. Get the communication. Talk to them. Do the different things. Figure it out. And you ain't got to do it all alone, And I'm just like, whew. We got to get back to dreaming. You got to get back to dreaming. Because whoever you are, wherever you are, and wherever you're watching from, we need you. Like the world needs you. The world needs me, and the world needs you. And somebody and people will appreciate it. People treat you how you treat yourself. You treat yourself better, you get better. You treat yourself better, you get those standards. People ain't gonna be, you ain't gonna be able to go for nothing. Anybody gonna be able to tell you nothing. Anybody gonna just be able to do anything to you? Oh, you think you better. And I am. Because the truth of the matter is, sometimes some people only love us when we're broken. Some of the friends we got are only our friends because we're broken. Some of the friends we got, we only friends because we stuck in the same situation, circumstance, the job. If I left here today, tomorrow, I would not call you. you know, real shit. Like, I would not call you. You know what I mean? We are connected because of what we're connected to. If I didn't work here, I wouldn't have known you. And although through that, sometimes we do meet people and some great development, friendships and things come out of it, right? But it's like, it's almost like the dude who, you may be to the rappers a little bit, who get rich, get from off the block, go and soar and never go back to the hood. He's considered, oh, he forgot about us. He did this. You don't know if this man gives to charities or what. But I'm not getting rich and I'm not doing all this changing to try to stay and be the first baddie of Perkins and just live down here and forget that it's niggas around me that are trying to take me out, set me up, sleep with my man. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm going to the hills. I try to do all that so I can get to the mansion. I want to do all of this so I can wake up tomorrow and be like, where are you going? I'm like, girl, they just came out with this new tea. What tea? Girl, this new tea in Switzerland. What you about to do, girl? I'm about to get on this flight, get on this jet and go to Switzerland to get some tea. Is you coming? I'm trying to do simple shit like that. I don't want to wait till the weekend to party. I want to wake up on a Tuesday morning and be in fucking Brazil. You know what I mean? Eating chicken on a stick. Stuff like that. So it's like, yo, dream. You have to dream, and things like that. Those are the things I want, and we will tell people, and people will try to tell us what we can and we can't do. Yes, to freedom. Okay? So you with me. You feel me? Freedom. I want freedom, stability, and freedom. Financial freedom, schedule freedom, just freedom, stableness, just freedom, and everybody wants different things, you know what I'm saying? And we cannot judge people for what they want. Everybody don't want the same things. So, with that being said, live your life, live out loud, stay true to who you are. Don't fall for anything, Do some real like self-reflecting. Get to the issues. Really begin to understand why you've done certain things, why you accepted certain things, why you speak certain ways. Love you a little more than you're loving everybody else. Speak softer to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. You know, things like that. Love who love you. Be kind to a stranger. You know, be the you that you would want someone else to have or be, you know? And it'll all work out. And so we are here. Thank you guys for joining. I can't wait to see what conversations we're going to have in the group. I appreciate those conversations coming back. And I'm grateful. I just want to say I'm grateful to be out of a space. And I'm going to continue to do the best and be the best. So before we go tonight, Father God, I pray for everyone who's watched this live tonight, even those who may watch it after, to bless us, to give us the freedom, to give us the courage to be different, to know different, to do better, to be gracious, have gratitude, have standards, be the standard, set a standard, do things differently, put you first, always look for the best in every situation. I pray that he, blesses us in ways and blows our minds in more ways than one. And I pray that you have a better tomorrow than you did today, and that he gives us the strength and the courage to face our battles, to be the light in the darkness, to continue to attempt to see the forest through the trees, and do not get distracted by what we see. Do not get distracted by what people say, but continue to grow, continue to keep him first, and just continue to give us the strength to live and go on another day. And on the days that we feel defeated and depleted, Father God, I ask that you lift us up and breathe life into us and be the wind beneath our wings, because we need you more than ever. And forgive us on the days that we forget who you are, we don't put you first, and we try to figure everything out on our own, and when we think we know better. Thank you for not keeping us where you found us and always opening us up to you and accepting us with open arms. No matter what we do, no matter how many times we fall short, you continue to be faithful and be there for us. And in Jesus' name, amen. Okay. So, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you guys for watching. Draco is no longer knocking on the door, so I already know that he probably did something. I pray he doesn't. Him don't feel good. I got to take him to the doctors. But the way this $67 is set up in his vet bills, he ain't going today. But I am praying that the Lord is going to send a solution. But outside of that, he's knocking on the door. So I'm hoping he ain't, y'all know how Draco get. I was gonna let him in, but he probably like, girl, he wants to cuddle. He's sleepy. So because he's sleepy, I have to get sleepy. And I'm not sleepy. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave the comment. If you're watching the show once it's over, put replay in the comments. Engage in the conversations in the group. Follow me on all platforms as we continue to take and go through this journey of life together. I will see you guys next week. Thank you much.